Pirates of the Mesozoic, starring Craig Smith, Donald Von Griffin, Kieran Torres, Leslie Danaberger, me, GM Rick Blackmore, Sebastian and Sebastian. Woo! Oh, he won't let me catch him. He ran out. He won't let me catch him. All right.
So I take it tonight's episode is brought to you by Sebastian?
Sorry, what?
I said tonight's episode is brought to us by Sebastian?
No, tonight's episode brought to you by Kraken. Cheap black rum.
Oh,
Okay,
well-
I didn't catch that.
yeah,
cheap-
watch out. There is a black label Kraken out there that is basically just the lower proof. It's
That's,
like,
that's, a,
why
that's a
bother?
big old 94 rather than labels. So
yeah.
Yeah.
there's a-
I mean, it's
there's-
not. I say cheap. It's the kind you get. Here's what Kraken is. Kraken, if you buy the liquor package on a cruise ship, Kraken is the rum that's included with that liquor package. Yes, it's good enough to be on a cruise ship, but it's not Via. I mean, it's not the good rum.
No, but
It's the rum you can just you mix with things and you drink it, and it's like, oh, hey, it's Tuesday.
But I've been on that cruise, and the rum that they had you paying money for was Gosling's, and I would totally rather have Kraken in almost every drink than Gosling.
Gosling's the really what's that brown stuff? It's like brown. It's like liquid brown sugar. What is that
Yeah,
stuff?
liquid molasses.
Molasses. Yeah, is Gosling's the one that's like has a really heavy molasses taste to it?
Yeah.
I don't dislike that. I mean, that can be good, but you have to want that
Yeah,
to
it's
drink
a
that.
It's a one-trick drink. It's a one-trick pony. Whereas Kraken's got the nice bite of the molasses, but it's tempered by the spices, and it's that nice bursar's proof.
All right, so
I don't think I'd like the 84 proof or the 80. Yeah, I don't think I'd like the 84 proof Kraken.
why would anybody do that? That is, I don't,
I
even
don't
get that.
know, but it's on the shelf.
There's
It's
a
not-
market for anything, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys,
Yeah,
you guys
it's a
are
Kraken. Why
in-
did they black label it and water it down?
you guys are in or just outside of some caverns that a cave. Okay, you're on the coast. It's a very rocky, uneven coast with buttes and mesas and water. And if you were looking at the coastline on a map, it'd be like lots of dots because it's a very uneven coast. You went down into a cavern, there's a bunch of buildings underground that are ancient. And you found raiders, and you fought a bunch of them, and you killed about a quarter of them. And there were like 40 of them, so that's a sizable number of dead guys. You rescued people from the cruise ship, the Carnival Star, and they're kind of like half-size humans. They're all wizened up. They're like raisin people. I'm going to call them raisin people. You rescue a dozen or so raisin people. Probably more than that. Been doing this for 6 months, once a month, getting 3 or 4 at a time. 6 times, a couple of dozen. Yeah, a couple of dozen raisin people. Yeah, they're alive, but they're weak and shriveled up, and apparently the raiders were using them as slaves, essentially. Nothing really, like, gross, just normal slaves, like, bringing them food and cooking them food and cleaning up after them, that kind of stuff. No weird sex stuff. It's not the kind of
I'm
show.
sucking their life energy, too, apparently.
No, that's how they became raisin people.
Yeah,
After that, they kept them around and used them as slaves.
okay.
So,
Oh, they used raisin people as slaves?
Yeah.
Okay.
well, the main reason they captured them, from what you can gather from the people you've rescued, is to suck their life energy out of them to rejuvenate themselves. which they apparently need to do about once a month, when the 3 moons are full. And then, but they still have the people afterward, and they're, they're useful for something, so they kept them around as slave labor. Servants. So there's that. So you rescued those people. You have the Pashupatastra. If I understand correctly, you didn't touch it. Donald or Captain Harris created like a carrying device for it, so you could like put it. It's like a little holder, and then inside of a case, and then close it.
It was in a cage.
It was in like a cage, which is connected to chains that were suspending it halfway into this cauldron of bubbling Pepto-Bismol goo.
Right.
Is it a distinct possibility if we take the heart back to the people it belongs to, they might be able to restore the raisin people?
That's what I'm hoping.
Okay, that's one. Yeah. That's one theory.
Mm-hmm. Because they would know how to use it properly.
Hey, what's that for? Is that the 45 minutes?
Oh, yes. Keep going. I can hear you.
All right. Michael looked at the memories of the only surviving raider who did not escape. And you found out that they had actually stolen the Pashupatastra from another wizard, or from a wizard in this. What that guy thinks of him as a wizard. Who knows what he is? But this guy's memory calls him a wizard. And they had stolen it from him, along with the recipe for this purple goo, pink goo. And so that's who they got it from. And this guy, when you're trying to find in his memory, do they know how to reverse it? As far as he knows, no. But if anybody does, it'd probably be the wizard that they stole it from originally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and you got a mental picture of this guy, and he looks like this. This is the guy they stole the Pashupatastra and the purple goo, or the recipe for the purple goo from. It's from a guy who looked like this.
He looks like a techno wizard, if he is a wizard.
Yeah, he really does. He looks like I could give him some real trouble.
So there's that. And then you were also talking about what to do about the people on the ship and whether to go back and rescue them now. I seem to recall you saying you could easily cobble together a trailer, a passenger trailer for the crawler.
Yeah.
And you could. And just basically everybody pack up whatever is important to you. Your treasured can of cocktail onions, and that's been passed down generation after generation. But then where do you go? What do you do? What's your plan? So that's where you are.
I think we were going to take him back to Tranquility.
Yep. Well,
that's a long trip.
Passengers, yes, but
eventually.
But I think what we need to do is, you know what? They're along the coast, aren't they?
Yeah.
This is all along the coast.
And according to the memories of the one surviving raider, who's still alive as far as I know, the wizard that they stole the Pashupatastra from, his tower is also along the coast, but it's further past where this cave is, the raider side out.
I would think rather than messing with the sorcerer, we do want to return the Pashupatati first so we don't lose it to the sorcerer, and then find out if they can fix the people, and maybe mess with the sorcerer later.
I think
we're going to be... Yeah, but since we're going to be driving right past their friends, we should go ahead and pick them up instead of, wasting a ton of time.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was what, a day's trip from...
Be right back.
From the spider people to the passengers.
We can call it that, sure.
But then, that does grow exponentially the further away we get from.
It's all along the coast.
Oh.
Well, right? The spider people are inland from where you are.
Oh,
you had to go toward the ocean from their crystal tower toward the sea. Not the old sea that you're used to, this new sea.
Okay, so yeah, I think
So if the coast is like this, and you have cruise ship, cavern with raiders, and presumably somewhere over here, a wizard's tower, this way is where the is where the crystal tower spaceship thing was.
Okay, so yeah, let's dismantle major parts of their ship in order to turn the crawler into a giant land boss, just like this long, multi-jointed snaking entity.
Sure.
And then we can take them with us, and have like kitchens and all in there. And then we take them with us, and we everybody just stays in the passenger cabins, and we may have to drop it off and run and do this thing with the spider people and get the raisin folks, maybe get the raisin folks de-raisined. That seems a reasonable. And then once we've got the Pashupatastra handed back to its rightful owners and safely off planet, then we just trundle back to Tranquility, radio up the hag, and go, yeah, it got away.
So sorry.
I like that plan.
Yeah, we gave it a shot. It got away.
I definitely like that plan. I'm proud to be a part of that plan.
In return, here is the Thompson Twins album released after you left Earth.
And
I peace offering. We gave it a shot. We didn't make it. Have this instead. Better luck next time.
Right.
You better be ready for a fight with her if we do that. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying we better be ready for a fight because she ain't gonna be happy.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying we deliver it in person.
I wouldn't.
You just equip a bot with some little drone turbines.
We're sending music, right?
We use one of my bots like she uses Sharon as a delivery person.
Well, actually, I was going to say if we're just sending music, and why don't we just email it to her underling?
Yeah.
Send it in MP3. That's pretty fun. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we may even have a promotional copy of the CD. Well, not in the mobile rig. No, we'd have the MP3.
Did we? But did we find the LPs or what format did we find it in? She may be.
I think he's assuming that one of you just has it on your iPod or whatever.
That's right.
You want me to make up the story about what episode you used it in? No. Because I think Long Long Gone could be used in like a dinosaur episode when we were hunting for the remaining megasaurs.
That's right. Yeah.
I could make something up.
So, probably John Erling would have it because he was mostly the sound guy and engineering and all that.
Yeah.
All right.
I just figured, we had for the library, of all of our licensed music, and
I'm sure you can track it down. We don't need to really dig into that.
Okay.
All right. So you spend the afternoon making. What do they call those trucks that drive through the Midwest, and it's like a cab and a truck, and then another truck, and then another truck?
Oh yeah, the
I just call road trains. That's what they call them in Australia. Yeah.
But here's a question: Did we try to decide whether we were going to bring any of that goo with us so somebody could try to figure out what it is and what it does, other than the wizard?
Yeah, if it's not liable to blow up on us, I think that is a wonderful idea.
Mm-hmm.
Just a small amount. We don't need a lot.
The raider that you captured, who we'll call Benny. So Benny, the raider, and his actual name is something very grandiose sounding, like Beneficon the verbose or something, but just Benny.
Yeah, we'll call you Benny.
Yeah, so which irritates him no end, and I guess that's kind of the point. So he does not tell you anything. So anything you get from him, Michael's gonna have to pull out of his brain.
Actually, I say, can I call you Benny? And if he says I'd rather not, I go, Skipper it is then.
Absolutely not.
Well, then Skipper
Absolutely not, human.
Skipper it is then. So Skipper, tell me. No, Skippy. I call him Skippy.
If looking back to his memories, they did not. They did treat the purple goo very carefully, but not because it was volatile, but because it was apparently deadly poison. So, like, you don't want to touch it, and you don't want to breathe the fumes, etc.
Well, that's what the bots can do. I'm sure we can find a container somewhere that's small enough,
I'm sure.
so we only take a small sample.
Yeah.
Cool. You get a some kind of stainless steel thermos or something, and
Something that we know can resist the strongest acids on Earth. So.
What can?
Something that, well, I know that you can only use plastic for hydrofluoric acid. And that's the strongest acid on this planet.
But that's because hydrofluoric likes to spontaneously combust with glass. Glass is
plastic
good
it is.
Everything else.
Then we
Really?
should
That's interesting.
we should put it in plastic.
Oh yeah, fluoric acid is nasty stuff. It'll cause glass to burst into flame.
That's why.
That's fun to know.
You
get a sample of it, and again, it's not explosive and it's not acidic. It's just extremely toxic.
Okay.
So you seal it up. You put that inside another container and seal that one up just to be sure. And you fire up the bus train. You get about 50 people from the Carnival Star who are thrilled to be rescued by the Coast Guard, and you head off. Let's see, you were south. You head north toward the spire of the spider people.
Yes.
Right? That's your
We
plan?
also rescued some from the caves. There were still some prisoners there, right?
Oh yeah, I thought you. Okay, you may have. That may have been before you. We talked a little bit about that, but that might have been before you logged on. Yeah, you rescued about 24 what I'm calling raisin people. They're about half the size of everybody else, and they're all wizened up. And
but those are post drain. They were slaves.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
And they get reunited with their loved ones, and there's many tears and crying and oh my God, this is horrible. Can you help them? Can you help them?
We're working on it.
All right.
That is our very next stop. Is the only people we can imagine that can help them.
Yep.
Well, that's not technically true, but okay.
We hope that they're the people who can help them.
All right.
That's a start. I said we're working on it. It's a project.
Day and a half or so later, you get to the big crystal spire. Let me see if I got a picture of that somewhere, because I think that's pretty cool looking. Doodly 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 doo. Oh, there it is. Ooh, that is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna kind of skip past the whole crystal spiders in the landscape because they're out there, so you can keep an eye out for them. They kind of blend in with all the other pieces of crystal that are shattered and scattered around. But now that you know they're there, you keep an eye out for them, and the people who are better at long-range shots, start avoid the ones you can, and the ones you can't, you shoot at them as soon as you can. And
yep.
by the time they get to you, they're already very injured because they're super tough. But by the time they get to you, you've already whittled them down a bit, and between you guys and Erling's Shen, it's not a big deal. And you get to the crystal tower.
Yeah, they go under the trads.
You get to the crystal tower, and as before, is being guarded by these spider people who are holding crystalline-looking weapons that you think are ranged weapons because they're not pointy exactly. They do have a lot of sharp edges, but it's because they're made of crystal. Anyway, and they at first don't recognize you because you're all just these weird, gooey, monstrous bipeds. So you all kind of look the same. But after some brief introductions are made, they realize that, oh yeah, you're the people who spoke to the spirits. So, yay.
Yes.
And they assume you want to speak to the spirits again.
We do.
They'll invite whoever wants to come into... Wow, I've got so many images open.
And maybe we should bring one of the raisin people with us if we're going to ask if they can help.
Yeah, I was thinking we should probably get the raisin people to stand guard on the civilians, and then drop off a few.
Oh, the raisin people are no shape to stand guard over everybody.
No.
A stiff wind will blow the raisin people over.
Get the spider people to stand guard over our civilians while we talk to the spirits, please.
Oh, well, yeah. Since you're on speaking terms with spirits, yeah, that's reasonable. Sure.
And then we can leave most of the passenger cars with all the healthy people, and take with us the Pashupatastra, the sample of the goo, and the raisin people to go drive up and talk to the spirits.
Okay, and that's just what the spirits look like, just so you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this out there because at least one of you, actually, I think Isco. This would occur to Isco. If nobody else, this would occur to Isco. If you take, let's say you're going to a meet, you've got something the other people want, they've got something you want, but you're not sure they're going to give you what you want. Do you take the thing that they want with you? Because if you do...
Not.
No.
You put a friend, or you put an escrow, or safe place.
It's like, show me this stuff. You show me your stuff.
Yeah, I think we should leave that with the passengers. Yeah. Hidden.
We'll say that John Erlang stays with the passengers and that to keep everybody safe. In addition to the spiders. That way we get around him being sullen and unresponsive when things are going on. He's back to the trot.
I'll go ahead and put one of my spare power plants into the cars that we're leaving, and some rudimentary controls. So if all else fails, Erlang can jump on the steering wheel and a couple of pedals and get everybody
out of there.
Yeah.
Still not over this cough. All right, so the rest of you go down with, did you say with one or two of the racing people?
I figure that bring a cargo or bring a passenger car full of them, all 12 of them.
The spider people balk at that. No, you are friends of the spirits, but we don't know these people.
These people need
these creatures. Help. They call you creatures. They call them creatures. We don't know these creatures. You creatures are friends of the spirits.
These are the people who need the spirits' help. We have come to ask on their behalf.
These creatures were injured by other people using the crystal.
Okay, there are 4 of you. You can bring 4 of the other creatures with you.
That's enough, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
That way they at least know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Hey, they take you down through the inside of the tower, and the walls and the floor and the ceiling are all kind of varying degrees of transparent, and you can see beneath your feet. There's rooms below that, and there's ramps and big arched areas and tunnels and twisty, curvy places, and they take you down, down, down,
cool.
down, down, down to what they refer to as the cathedral, which is where the heart of Pashupati, the thing, is supposed to go, where it's stolen from. And the spirits are down there, and telepathically, the spirits greet you and ask if you have returned with the heart of Pashupati. Actually, no, that's not what they say. They say, you have returned, why have you not brought the heart of Pashupati?
The heart of Pashupati was used by evil men to harm these people and others like them.
All the more reason to return it to us.
Well, we were hoping perhaps you could help us.
Yes, upon returning it to us, to you, we would like these people returned to their former state,
If possible.
healed.
Feel free.
Is this something
We don't object to you doing that.
You can't do it?
we do not know how. If the heart of Pashupatastra is your technology, we ask for your wisdom and guidance.
Well, this is not our concern.
We ask for your wisdom in return in exchange for the return of your most precious.
Returning what belongs here in the cathedral will prevent it from being misused in this way in the future.
Oh, well, why can't you help us put them back to normal, even if it isn't your concern? I mean, we made it our concern to go return your little thingy to you. The least you can do is help us by making it your concern to help these people.
Well, it is good and right that you should help us because it belongs
Well,
here.
it's also good and right for you to help us.
Especially since it was your device that caused the problem,
Yeah.
even if it was misused.
Let me see
And
how
it-
to respond.
and it
Somebody,
was-
somebody make a diplomacy roll.
And it was our effort and injury.
Who's the diplomat amongst
Who wants to make a diplomacy roll?
We helped you. You can help us.
Actually, I think it doesn't. I know one of us has expertise in diplomacy.
I do, and that's why I said something.
Yeah.
We helped you, so it's only fair for you to help us.
I don't have expertise, but that's about it.
A lot of ones and twos on these.
Woohoo!
Let's see.
Let's see. That is present. So
11.
11.
I rolled a 12 plus 3, 15.
Wow. All right.
Boxcar.
The spirits.
I was gonna say somebody boxcard.
The spirits like withdraw their psychic communication from you, and you can see them kind of like flickering as they talk to themselves, and then they return their psychic communication to you. It says, "What you have said, it has merit. It is through the action of the heart of Pashupati that these creatures were injured, and if they like, they may stay here with us. But only the ones which were injured. Are all of these ones that were injured, or are some not
There are some
injured?
more.
These 4.
There are more.
No,
There were more.
Oh, how many have been injured?
There were 12 injured.
No, actually, it's like 24.
Oh, wow. Okay, there were 24 injured. There are 20 more.
What's going to happen to them if they stay here with you?
They would join our children and become part of the caretakers of the heart of Pashupatra.
So they turn into the
Pashupati.
spider, the crystal spider type creatures.
No. We assume that's not possible. Is that possible for your kind?
Not that we know of.
No, I was curious as to what we're talking about exactly. So
Well, possible is a really funny word in the past. Come on.
I do have a question for you. It would be easy enough if the heart of Pashtapati can restore life energy at all, because that's all they need. They've had their life energy stolen.
And then you need them to stay here.
Yeah, I'm rolling some dice. There's some flickering as they discuss that. It's like, this is not something known to us. It sounds like a misuse of the power of the heart of Pashupati. It is not something that we
The
would
purple
wish.
stuff.
It's not something that we would condone or wish to repeat.
I didn't think you would.
Yeah, bad thing was done. Then they want to do another bad thing just to make them whole again. Something like that.
Is it something that can be undone without the heart? Because that's what we may have to do.
Who are you asking?
I'm asking the spirits.
Oh, that's not our concern.
Of course not. I'm going to look at least one of the raisin people and tell them what's been offered.
Yep. They can stay here. Stay as they are. Come with us.
Mm-hmm. With the possibility of us finding a cure, which
We have to find that other wizard.
But
So,
nothing is impossible.
would our families be able to join us here in this crystal
no.
palace with
Not
the
part of the deal.
spider creatures? No.
No.
Well, I'd rather stay with my family
Yeah, kind of
I
than with
figured as
spider
much.
creatures.
I figured as much.
I thought the Coast Guard was going to take us to the mainland.
We're intending to, but we're trying to figure out a way to undo what's been done to you.
Yes, we are on our way to the mainland. We are just trying to help you as much as we can along the way.
Oh, this isn't it. Oh, okay. Because I thought this was. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's also very strange. I
No,
don't remember
no,
any
it's
mention of spider creatures.
Agreed.
You're going to think that maybe when we get to the mainland. It's an old west town by the seashore.
I don't know what that means, but I know what shore means. That's where the water meets the land, and that makes sense.
Wow, I guess their film library went out on it.
I'm guessing that we're going to have to find another way, which means we're going to have to go for the wizard.
Yeah.
So,
let's
I-
get these folks
in a
back to Tranquility.
firm but polite voice, the spirits say, "So, have you found the heart of Pashupati?"
We believe so.
Yes.
It's important that you bring it to us as soon as possible, so that we can cease to be in this place.
Okay. Let us return to our return these people to their families.
And we'll bring it back.
All right.
Yeah, seems a reasonable thing to do. If they're, I would rather have that thing gone than
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
all in.
It'd be enough of a reward, I guess.
On the way back, I am going to ask the captain.
So where are you going back to exactly?
Just back
Where
down
we
to the.
left the rest of the passengers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're still going through up the ramps and around and around and through
Now here's-
arched.
when we leave the Crystal Palace and are heading back to the other passengers, and I'm going to ask the captain, before we turn this thing over, is there a way you can record something of its energy so maybe you can help figure out a way to undo what's been done?
I could try.
Oh, and then no
I mean,
way in hell,
between-
man.
Your recording and the purple goo sample we have, we might be able to figure something out.
No. You're dealing with something.
Way
This
too
is what
different. Okay.
Captain Harrows knows. Yeah, this is like, well, I found the One Ring, and we're gonna get rid of it. But
Okay.
can we make a rubbing, and maybe use that as
Okay,
for some?
yeah.
No, it's not gonna
That's
work
why I
that way.
was asking him. That's why I was asking him.
Yeah, no, this is Honestly, I think this stuff is the very definition of alien technology.
Okay.
Well,
It
yeah.
is so unlike anything.
Oh, here's something. Sorry, I coughed in your ear. I meant to mute that.
Remember,
Michael.
captive
Michael
galaxy.
is the only person here who's actually got telepathic ability. So,
Mhm.
Michael, make a. Let me double check your skills because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing because this will matter. If you fail at it, it's not the end of the world. But okay, you don't have expertise in this, but we'll call it perception. Yeah, I think we'll call this perception. Make a perception reason roll, Michael.
And that comes on reason. Okay.
Yeah. So 2d6 plus your reason.
Plus the power too, or no?
No, just your reason. This is just you putting together things you've heard telepathically, but nobody else gets to make the roll because nobody else is actually a telepath.
Okay, total's 10.
Let me roll against you. I'm giving a difficulty of 3, which is normal, and I rolled a 5 plus 3 is 8, so you make it. Okay, as you're going along, and you can kind of overhear telepathically the chit chat between the spider people, and as you're thinking, and you know how you have a conversation and you think over it later, like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. Hey, wait, did they mean this? Did they mean that? And you're like second guessing stuff. Well, telepathy is even more vague than spoken conversation because there's all kinds of layers of meaning between when somebody's talking to you in your brain. And you're putting stuff together. And things that they've said about like not being here anymore and how the people who've been injured by the heart of Pashupati can stay with them, but nobody else. And it occurs to you the way they were phrasing those things is that the people who will be with them will continue to exist when they leave here, and everyone else won't. I mean, that's kind of like the subtext of what they're saying, is that the people who are outside the Shivanna, which is the big crystal tower spaceship temple thing, when they fire that up and become not here and become somewhere else, everything outside will no longer exist anymore. You don't know if that's literally true, but that's kind of the way they're phrasing that, that's the way they understand what they're saying means. So
In
like
other
when they're
words,
offering
their
those people to
drive-
stay with them, they're saying, yeah, those people can continue to exist after we leave here.
In
Because
other words,
they've been
they're saying
touched,
that they're
not because they've been injured. Oh,
manipulating-
here's something else. Wait, one more thing. Not because they've been, and this is another like layer of meaning thing, not because they've been injured by the heart of Pashupati, but because they've been touched by the heart of Pashupati. So like they get to do something that other people don't get to do. So there's that.
So in other words, initiating their drive wipes out anything within the vicinity of their drive. Or the world, as it were. The world that's in the vicinity of their drive. Is what I think they're saying.
That's what you think they mean. Now, whether they're right and whether that's literally true or just their way of looking at things, you're not positive. You only made it by 2, so that's all I'm going to give you. But
I'm
that
going to
is
look at the captain and I'm going to say, I think we want to make this go away in some other way. I don't think we want them to make it go away.
Dropped into the heart of the maelstrom it is.
I've been thinking and realizing that their drive, when it's initiated, might just wipe this world out. And I'm saying might. I'm not sure.
That's a little overpowered. Seriously.
Yeah.
The device is what? The power of a galaxy, or all the stars in the
You should be able to control it enough to be able to have a safe takeoff. Only damage the stuff immediately below you, not like an entire planet.
You could ask them directly. They may or may not answer directly.
Well, we should ask them before we even bring the thing over.
Yep.
Either that or we get back, we hook up, we get everybody seated, and then floor it.
So you get back to your bus train. You tell
Yeah.
John Erlang what they said, and he's like, "Well, they were no help whatsoever." And then
And
Michael
they might
says
be
his
a
thing.
danger to us.
Mhm.
Michael says his thing. So
And
you
under these
are or are
circumstances,
not
we
going to
don't
go
want
back
the
and
head
ask
to
for
have it either.
clarification. Yes, no. Okay. Wait, one more question. or not. Or you're just going to get the hell out of Dodge.
Mm.
I mean, you're
We
outside the
know
thing.
what
You
we're
can
gonna
probably
do
go back
with it.
in. They'll probably let you back in.
I said before we leave, before we get the hell out of Dodge, we at least ought to think about what we're going to do with it. We
Yeah,
can't take it to the hag. She'll do the exact same thing. She'll probably destroy the world by using it.
Yeah, like I say, drop it into the center of the maelstrom.
But that
And
might
end up
destroy things too.
It might send it somewhere else.
Fire it into the maelstrom, and then at least it's not our problem.
What then?
To quote,
That's
That is-
responsible.
to quote, that is not my concern.
Mm.
So two questions that are of immediate importance for the game is, do you leave or do you go back in and ask for clarification on what Michael thinks they're saying? Because Michael's not positive.
No, I'm not
It's
positive.
like more like a feeling.
And they may not know. They may think
We
that's
thought-
going to happen, but they may not know.
Chuck it into the maelstrom. Who knows? It may destroy the world anyway if it implodes or whatever's going to happen to it.
I'd be more comfortable knowing what the sticker does.
And that may actually be worse than getting it to the hag. Actually, I wish
I'd be comfortable if I knew what the
in
sticker
the
does.
hands of those who know what it is and how to control it or whatever, how to use it. It's probably better, and they don't seem to be evil either. Just don't care.
Okay,
Yeah, it
okay.
could be just as bad as being evil.
Eh,
I'm thinking of something that might be very dangerous to me.
My goodness, why would you do that?
Captain, it's your kind of thing. Do we get the idea from them, the way they're talking, that this heart is something that might be alive? In a machine sort of sense.
It's a galaxy.
Well, it's a universe.
It's a universe.
It's a baby universe.
It's a captive universe.
Is there a way, do you think, we can talk to it?
No,
It's a captive universe.
Okay.
Well, you can convey this however you want, Donald, but from Captain Harris's point of view, like when he's talking to machinery, I mean, yes, Georgie's actually sentient, right? But like the crawler you're standing on, you can talk to it. But it's not sentient. What you're doing when you talk to it isn't so much having a conversation as it is like two tuning forks. You hit one and it makes the other one start vibrating in resonance. It's more like having an understanding of how parts fit together. It's that kind of music and intention.
We don't have
So
anybody who
so
knows.
the crystals inside the whole big cathedral. One more thing. Almost done. The cathedral where the heart of Pashupati goes, all that machinery. When you were talking to it, it was singing like a chorus of wind chimes and thunderstorms. But it's not sentient. It's just really weird and really powerful and beautiful. But it's not sentient. It's not a person in the way that even Georgie is.
Right.
And that goes for the heart of Pashupati too.
Nick, it's a galaxy. If there is sentience, it's
a tool.
really, really tiny things on really, really tiny.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that advanced. It's more like
tool.
potential energy.
Yeah.
It's a universe a split second after it comes into being.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
was used by somebody else or something else.
Okay.
Too bad none of us knows physics.
Yeah, no, it is all of the potential energy of a universe.
Which explains why they can use it for so much. But still, the fact that they cannot control it enough to just take off without destroying things is.
You make it sound like that's not the actual intention. For all you know, that is the actual intention. Perhaps what the cathedral does is destroy and rebuild the universe around them. That's
Well,
not as crazy as it sounds.
no,
Oh,
Donald.
it's not,
Lord.
but still.
You know what that means? That means that this weird world that we're in may have been created by the heart of Pashupati when they
Crashing.
crash landed.
Okay. Okay. So here's
Oh, wow.
the real question. Here's the real question. If we go in and ask for clarification, how do we expect to get out again if it goes sour?
Let's not say we did. Let's get out of here.
And I don't think they created this world because they were here after other members that other
That's
people.
true, yeah.
And their craft looked like it crash landed. The parts that broke off.
Yeah, there was definitely repair and talk of repair.
Yes, there was talk of repairing the Shivanna. Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely broke when it landed here. So, what are you doing?
I guess hooking up and flooring it.
Okay, everyone in the bus train cheers because they assume now we're going to go to the mainland, to this to
Near enough.
to West Town. You said you were going to a place called West Town, which is on the coast, and they're celebrating because in West Town, the food is fresh and the clothes are clean, and all of their raisinified relatives will be restored to health, and everything's going to be wonderful.
Whoa.
Clothes are clean is a little pushing it.
It's
I think that
kinda
they're definitely not fucking raising people at this point.
Oh.
It's
We're
better.
gonna have to go after the wizard, but I think we need to get rid of or do something with the heart to make it not in their hands.
Yeah.
You know, they say in mainland, the water just comes out of a hole in the wall. You just hold out your hand, and clean, fresh water just comes out, and you can drink it, and you can splash it on yourself.
What, haven't we improved the plumbing at?
Captain, that's possible, I think.
Yeah. Actually, we just got that. Ty just got that set up. So
Oh.
come to think of it,
It's
there is
clothes we still have issues with, I think. We need a fabric synthesizer of some sort.
we've got lots of hands.
Yeah.
Okay, so your goal is you're driving to Tranquility now? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what we're gonna do with this Pashupati thing.
It takes you about a week.
If I had my brothers, we'd be launching it into the.
The problem is if we don't get rid of it soon, the hag is going to know we have it, and he's probably going to come after it. So we need to
The
get rid of
hag's
it.
gonna want it. The spirits are gonna want it.
We got to get rid of it somehow.
Yeah. Okay.
So we more or less have stole it from someone who stole it from someone who stole it from someone who stole it from the spirits. Is what's happening.
Right. My question is, how do we?
That's actually correct. You used the right number of stole it froms. That's correct.
So my question is, how do we properly kite the spider people to Orson or to Seymour? We need to kite the spider aliens to Seymour.
Let's not go that far. Let's leave them alone because I don't think they
I
intentionally.
don't know if that'll work because
I think it just isn't their concern.
Their bubble of reality, like the dinosaurs don't leave. So I don't know that would work.
So
Well,
you're
if
cruising
they don't-
along, and the rocky area you're in kind of shifts to like a red desert plain, and ahead you see geometric shapes in front of you, buildings or possibly sculptures, maybe. But
We didn't pass this before.
no, you didn't, because you did pass a big cinnamon-smelling kind of burgundy desert, but this is like a lighter orangish color, and it's very, very flat, almost perfectly flat, from horizon to horizon. And as you get closer to the geometric sculptural shapes, They're not directly in front of you, but you're going to pass them by. You realize that they're much smaller than you thought they were going to be, because from the distance they look like, and you've passed a lot of like gigantic structures, that kind of thing. No, these things are like maybe 10 feet tall max. And as you get near,
Are we talking? Are we talking curvature flat, or are we talking laser flat?
well, you don't have a laser handy, so flat. But as you get close, you see there are these creatures, and they're only about 10, 15 centimeters tall. They're tiny. And they're looking up at you, at the crawler, as you're going by.
I try not to run any over.
Well, they get out of the way.
I wave.
They wave back.
Mm.
They don't attempt to communicate or approach. They get out of the way of the crawler. The crawler goes by. Unless you stop.
No,
Did you
no.
have one of those storms recently? Because I think they just arrived.
I'm just thinking. To their perspective,
Sorry.
the road train must be like 20, 30 miles long.
It's huge. It's enormous.
Yeah.
I don't know about miles, but at least, well, it's a good long ways. I'm not. I'd have to do some calculations to tell you.
We're not worried about it.
So you don't stop. You don't try to trade with them or anything. They don't appear to have anything. They're just little people, and they're 10-foot tall sculptural buildings. Maybe hard to say. You just keep going. What do you do?
Yeah. You know what? Friendly little aliens. That's a bonus in my book. I write it on the charts and keep on driving.
I don't know about friendly, but they don't try to attack you, so that's something. Non-violent aliens.
Yes.
Non-aggressive aliens of some sort.
There we go. Non-aggressive.
All right. So you cruise along for a while. You do pass that cinnamon desert again, and that's where you found like the great big hand and a couple of other like gigantic structures.
Oh, by the way, on the trip, I'm occasionally checking in by radio with Ty.
Oh, that's weird. All right, let me see. Do you find things?
Well, remember I said that at the beginning because I was going to be keeping track of it. And the best way to do that is to occasionally radio it in to a central point.
Sure. You're using ham radio, which in theory goes around the curvature of the Earth, right?
Yeah.
In theory.
So,
I would say like 3/4 of the time you get nothing, but about 1/4 of the time you get a response. And let's see if you get a response this time.
Actually, the way it works really is the RF based on the frequency range will actually bounce off the various layers of the ionosphere and such. So we would, I hope Captain Harris would know what frequencies to use as being a mariner. HF. I wouldn't know. He would know. But,
It would take a scientist to explain it, but yeah, I'm sure Captain Harris knows all this stuff.
Right. And I assume the planet is physically like has the magnetosphere and such that Earth does. Who knows?
Well, if it doesn't have a magnetosphere, you're all going to die of cancer in about 10 years.
yeah, I was going to say.
Like what would happen if you lived on Mars?
The same as this part of whatever weird universe this is.
Well, that's true too. Maybe because you have moons. Did I tell you if you have stars or not?
Oh.
we haven't.
No, we asked that at the very beginning about constellations.
I know, but I don't remember what I said.
You said that there were stars, but we didn't.
Recognize anything, maybe?
Okay,
Like
if there's stars, then there's background radiation of the universe. So okay, then yeah, you die of cancer. Because at one point I was debating whether to have it be like 3 stars, and they'd be like very faint, and that'd be all, which would be a little scary. So
Yeah.
Okay.
still thinking about making it do that, but no.
I'd be
So
okay with that.
there are stars. There's not as I'll compromise a little bit with myself. There are stars. There aren't as many, and they aren't as bright as on Earth. And you see no Milky Way. There's no Milky Way of any kind.
Mhm.
But but there's like no light pollution. So at night it is, unless the moons are out, it's pitch black. So you can see very clearly what stars are there. And as far as the moons go, if you remember correct, I do remember what I said about that. When the moons are just like starting to be a sliver, there's only one. And it's not like the other ones are dark. There's only one. And then when it gets to about halfway, then there's two. And then when they get to about 3/4 full, then there's three. And when it's full, it's three. And then when they get to about 3/4 full again, then there's two. And
so there's one moon that is somehow refracting.
and they're different sizes.
Yeah.
One's they're all very close to the same size, but visually you can tell they're not the same size. One is slightly smaller, and the other one's slightly smaller. So there's that,
weird.
which is not normally possible. That's not how things work. So something here is not
right. Yeah.
possible within the laws of physics that you know.
Right, and if we were in the Milky Way galaxy, and we, well, okay, if we were, regardless of where we were at it, we should see something. So that may tell us something.
Well, maybe then in that regard, the heart would not work like the spider people think it would work because of the fact that nothing works by the laws of physics.
That's
here.
entirely possible. And I'm kind of surprised Michael's the first person to think of that. But yeah, that's entirely possible.
Well, it's pretty obvious that we are in a different universe than the one we started in, simply by the readings going on from Georgie.
Well, I'm thinking that Michael would think about it.
And,
Michael would think about it because Michael's a space Viking.
That's right. I keep forgetting Michael's actually from outer space.
Absolutely, yeah.
From outer space.
The point about the,
Arog is from outer space, but
no, that could just be the planet that we're on. I mean, the whoever constructed this, or whatever force is making this happen, just have decided that.
Right then. Okay, so Captain Harris tries to call Ty on the radio. Thank you. Okay, there's a moment's delay, and it's like you've reached in very proper British accent thing. You hear a girl say, "This is Tranquility. Go ahead. Over."
Tranquility, this is Captain Harris. We have rescued a crew of passengers and are planning to bring them back to Tranquility. Do you have a time check from our last contact? Over.
She, Tranquility, current time is X number of days, X number of hours, X number of minutes since last contact. Over.
That gets written down in the log.
Oddly, you would, from your previous experiences being this far out, how long went for you? It was like, not more than a week, but for them it was like a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, year and a half.
Okay, for them it's been a month and a half, like six weeks max.
Well, we did stay close to the coast.
Right. And the coast seems to be the dilation point.
It's a different sea. You're positive, well, reasonably positive of that.
Oh.
So.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, it stays in the log, and
again, for you, it's been about a week and a half. For them, about 6 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, write it down on the log. It's more data.
Another thing I wish is that we could not have such a big gap in time.
What did you call the crawler again? I mean, what's its official name?
Oh, well, it's changed form a few times since then.
What was it called when you left Tranquility? You had a name for these things, and I forgot what they were.
Yeah, I forget what this one was called at the time. Um,
You named it after the type of hovercraft it was.
oh,
Karoa? Koana. Okay.
Koan.
Koana from Tranquility, acknowledge my last request. Over. My last message. Over.
This is Captain Harrow's message acknowledged. Over. Time dilation seems to be more in our favor than last time. Hopefully it'll be a short trip.
Tranquility. Okay. Hope you have a safe trip home. Over.
We hope so too, Tranquility. If you would, please let the sheriff and mayor know that we have, and I'd say how many healthy passengers and how many weakened.
Tranquility will be happy to see new faces. Over.
Say that now.
Yeah, until she sees the faces.
Until she sees the faces. All right. Well, I'll give her our my best guess ETA on getting back.
Their time, 3 weeks?
Yeah. Best guess ETA of approximately 3 more weeks. We will see you then. This is the Coanda, over and out.
Tranquility. Okay, out. I don't know if it's coming across to you. Ty was just kind of like a throwaway character. I'm finding her adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really had a chance to meet her yet because this will be because I wasn't here when you found her, but she sounds fun.
She's just a kid that's good with machines. All right then, moving on. So you grind through, and the next thing you see, oh, I had a thing for you to see, is you're plowing across the cinnamon desert.
We try not to attract any of the Iraqian sandworms.
Funny you should say that. Oh, I'll show you this. I just
Life must flow.
I was gonna say, like, seriously, I will vary the rhythm of the crawler so that we do not attract Iraqian sandworms.
Life must flow.
I meant to. I have like 1,000 tabs open. The coastline looks like this. I mean, you're not there anymore, but back when you were there, everything that you see that is the ground level was water, and then mesas and smaller islands poking up out of it. That's kind of what the coastline looked like. And I just wanted to show you that in case you forgot. But as you get closer to, where's my next thing I was looking for? I had a thing, because again, too many tabs, so many tabs, bunch of crystal-y sort of things. In the distance, in the cinnamon desert is sand. I mean, it smells like cinnamon and it's burgundy, but it acts like sand. It's got big sand dunes and huge hills, and then down into huge valleys. If you're on top of a crest of a dune, you can see a very long way, but most of the time you're between dunes and you can only see like a half mile of that.
Square crystals or round crystals?
The sand?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Hang on. I'll actually show you what one looks like.
If it's square crystal sand, then it could be useful for mortar and cement.
Let's see if I can find a picture of what it looks like.
Which is why people are doing crazy things like stealing Jamaican beaches and shipping them to Saudi Arabia.
Ooh.
That is bizarre.
That's a real thing. Somebody stole a beach out of the Caribbean and shipped it to Saudi Arabia.
That is bizarre.
Yes, our world is very bizarre.
Trying to find like a sharp picture of this, and this is about as sharp as it's going to get. So we'll just go with this.
But yeah, apparently desert sand does not make good. Desert sand is too smooth to make good concrete.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Sand.
So you break out your jeweler's loop or whatever, and you look at the sand, and it looks like that. It doesn't look like crystals at all. It looks like flakes of something,
Ah,
or something that's been like ground up. How is that funny?
Seeing a big like cinnamon stick of cinnamon like ground, mortar and pestle or something.
Maybe it literally is cinnamon.
yeah. We take a
cinnamon.
we take a sample for our chemists to play with once we get back to the lab.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, why not? Then the cinnamon desert kind of flows and edges and peters out as you reach what looks like a suburban area. A suburban area that has seen better days. You don't see people.
Thick suburban area.
Yeah, you've actually driven through here before.
Mm-hmm.
So you know you're on the right track because you've been here before. It's the post-apocalyptic suburban area. And I had a picture here somewhere I thought was pretty good. Doodly-doo. Do-do-do. Nope, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. You know, it's a thin line between post-apocalypse and just ruined. Weird, but true. And no matter what you search for, you find sexy robots. It's just a thing. Post-apocalypse, sexy robots.
Well,
male and female, it's legit.
All right. Oh, actually, this isn't bad. I was about to give up, but I found this. This isn't too bad. We'll go with this. Yeah, it's close enough. Well, this is actually like more downtown than I was thinking. I was thinking more like suburban. Like the biggest building you would see would be the strip mall. But, kind of like this. It's not night all the time. It has daytime and nighttime. And it's been a few years because plants and weeds and things are growing up between stuff. But for the most part, it's houses and streets and strip malls and old Kentucky Fried Chickens and that kind of thing. So it's not skyscrapers. It's suburbs. And you see a few zombies staggering around, and they do come toward the noise. They come toward the noise of the crawler bus train. But you're faster than they are, so it's not really... these aren't running zombies. These are staggering zombies. However, ahead of you, like crossing the street in front of you, about half a mile away, you see this guy. Let me share this with ya.
place like that.
Well, that's more construction zone freeway, but...
Oh, wait. No, that's not the right one.
Is that what you meant? All right, I'll wait until you share what you meant.
Ah.
Well, get back to us on that, all right?
Yeah.
So you see this
found a
guy.
really good one, but for some reason it's not.
You can come back to it. It's okay. This fella.
Oh.
And he's on a motorcycle. And hang on, I'll show you that too. Actually, I had two of this guy open. So, and he's driving this motorcycle. You hear it before you see it. Says, because it's very, very quiet. Because it's zombie wasteland, right? So the crawler that you're standing on or sitting on is the loudest thing. It's the only thing. All right, hang on. Let me go look at this. Yeah. Other than the snow, yeah. That's pretty much like what you're walking through. Awesome. That'll work. Yeah. And there's a couple of zombies right there, over there. Okay. Okay. He's driving. So when you hear something other than the crawler, it gets your attention. And he's driving. You hear it before you see it, and then about half a mile ahead of you, crossing an intersection in front of you, he's driving a motorcycle. The motorcycle is pulling a small trailer. On the small trailer is a metal cage about the size of a dog crate. In fact, it probably is a dog crate. And inside that is a person who is, you can't hear from here, but they are moving. It's not a dead person. Well, it could be a zombie. Hard to say. But as it crosses the intersection in front of you, again, it's several streets away. It stops, and he turns toward you like he doesn't expect to see you. Like, what the hell is that? Everybody, make a...
Roll initiative.
No, not initiative.
Oh.
Not everything has to be a fight, man. I mean, it could be, but...
Hey, if he wants to make it into a fight, I think a road train versus a Bonneville, I'm betting on the road train.
It's a Triumph EFI Bonneville. You were right.
Yeah.
What,
650 cc?
I don't know. Everybody, make a survival presence roll. That's what you're making. And I'll roll for him and tell you what we get. It's not super hard. You probably make it. Oh, you need an 11.
Oh, no way in hell.
No problem.
No.
I do not have the survival skill
No,
up there.
neither do I.
Really?
I
Wow.
do.
I got 11 on the nose.
Let's see. I have 13.
Okay, so Dr. Anna and Michael, and for sake of argument, we'll just say Erlang. Make it fine. You look at this guy on the motorcycle who's looking at you with like a, huh. And you can't see his face, but something in his body language is just like, huh. Like, that's something. What am I going to do about that? Isco and Donald feel fear. And it's not that he's doing anything particular to exude that. It's just that something about the way this guy is looking at you makes it very clear to you that as far as he's concerned, he's the person looking for food, and you might be that food.
You gotta get out of here, guys. Get out of here. I don't like this.
If he wants to play chicken.
No. I'm completely serious. Captain Harrows is feeling like, there are times when you're out in the sea and something's going on and you see a fish and don't fuck with that fish. This is one of those fish. Or whatever.
Well, I would kind of agree with Captain Harrows and Isco and say, let's just stay out of his way and let him do his business.
If he chases us, we kite him over to Cyril.
I say, yeah, we don't let him stop us. Yeah, let's just go.
Yeah.
Just keep moving. We're bigger than he is.
Well, he turns and continues crossing the street, and you hear the sound of the motorcycle kind of fade away. So,
I guess he decided that he was probably maybe getting the same feeling from us. I don't know.
who knows?
Big fish, don't mess with it.
So you cruise along and you see some zombies and stuff. But again, unless you want to engage them, you don't have to because you're faster than they are.
If they're in the way, we'll run them over.
And if a few are in the way, and you just run over them. So, crunch, 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 crunch. The people in the back are pretty freaked out, but Then you reach plains, grasslands, and dinosaurs that also attack the train.
We do have some drink service running.
But they... The dinosaurs actually attack the bus.
Okay.
So, but you got little robots, giving people drinks.
And then
So
we got
this is
guns,
extremely
and we had
surreal
sharpshooters, and
for these people.
With guns and bows,
we had guns, sharpshooters. We're good.
Yeah, you, Dr. Anna, and Erlang, and Michael, and Nisco, all
Plasma cannon.
just and a couple of minions. The minions are terrible, terrible shots, but they do hit once in a while. Sorry, I thought I muted in time, but I didn't. And eventually you get to the more scrub area. It's not quite desert, but it's definitely not grassland, and it's just kind of rocky, scrubby sort of area, which is close to home. And you're close to home, and that you camp for the night at several points along this way, or don't, and just have people sleeping while you take turns driving. Whatever, up to you. Doesn't matter.
I say
Tranquility up ahead. Yay! The palisade wall around the town is intact this time. Yay! So nothing came by and ate it. Which means you probably successfully killed the termite nest last time you were here. Because I have a feeling if you hadn't, they would have come back. So. And you pull up to the gate, and they have people open the gate, and you pull in your entire train. And wow, that is a lot of people. So you
didn't say how many were coming.
Yeah, I did see
What are you
one.
talking about?
So Sheriff Rose and the mayor and all, they greet everybody and welcome them to Tranquility. Let's see. The town of Tranquility, to remind you, has around 300 residents. So you have increased that by about 50 people, which is a big chunk.
Yeah, isn't it the 50 people plus the 25 withered ones? 24 withered ones?
Actually, yeah. It's like 75 people.
Yeah.
And what the hell's wrong with them? You hear that a lot.
Yeah, it will make the announcement. Some evildoers stole their life energy. Please be very kind to these people.
Oh, Chris, yeah.
Been through a lot.
We're gonna try and see if we can fix them. But
Is it contagious?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we destroyed the source that was causing it, and that was not disease.
All right. Well, you've given the whole town something to do for the next couple of weeks, which is find these people places to stay and stuff to do.
well, that's why I had Ty report in that we were bringing 75 people in.
Yep. And the mayor and Sheriff Rose and several volunteers around town have already found houses that are not eaten by termites, where people can stay. And they start dividing people up into groups. They're not sure what to do with the raisin people yet, but they seem to stick with their family members. So that kind of takes care of itself.
Yeah.
Raisin people are people too.
Okay.
I explained that these people's descendants were shipwrecked about 2,000 years ago.
What? Like Bible times?
Well,
Well, the whole time dilation thing, it's a bit weird, yeah.
yeah. Time is a funny thing. According to them,
You can stop there, because no matter what you say, the town considers these people from Bible times.
Great.
From now until the end of Tranquility,
It would have been
these
about
people
100
will be referred to as the Bible people. The coming of the Bible people.
Another
So-
100 years in their future, okay.
Hey,
they prefer to be known as passengers. For
Actually,
aren't
that
we
that
all
might
great
okay. Passengers, Bible people, 50-50, because that's pithy. People can repeat. that.
Yeah.
The passengers, when the passengers came, because they refer to themselves that way.
And they're now a substantial percentage of the town.
All right, so, a good chunk, yeah, a significant minority. Let's see. Comparing this demographically, we'll compare this demographically. Tranquility around 300 people before these people showed up, was around 60% white Americans. That's around 180. Around 15% black Americans. That's around 45. So the new people, about a third of those are black. So that number has shifted percentage-wise.
Everyone would be ham.
Hmm?
I think.
Oh, you're right. By this point, I mean, this is like 2,000 years later. Yeah. So they're all, who knows? Which is, that's going to cause some questions in Tranquility, because they don't make a big deal about it day to day, but it's part of the structure of their world that they know.
Yeah, you may end up with a dark-skinned, curly, red-haired Mexican boy.
Yeah, I mean, they've been depending on each other here in Outland, which is what the Tranquility people call this. They call it Outland. They've been living together, so any kind of like racist shit against blacks or Indians or Mexicans, whatever, has kind of like gone by the wayside. There's always exceptions, but in general, nobody actually cares. But still, it's a thing. It's like they know, even if they don't care, they know. It's like, I don't care if you're Catholic, but I know if you're Catholic. But what the hell are you? It's like that. So there's some confusion there.
If you guys didn't get it, Lloyd says his mother's okay.
Oh, good. Yeah. Glad to hear it.
They're going out for a turkey dinner, apparently.
I did not get that. Thank you for sharing. To just finish the demographics of before they got here. 60% white, it's around 180. Around 15% black, it's around 45 people. Around 15% Mexican, also about 45 people. Around 5% Native American, that's only about 15 people. All but a couple of those are Apache, and they speak Athabascan. And there's a few white people who can speak Athabascan, and blacks and Mexicans as well. And then around 5% Chinese, which is around 15 people. So that's the demographics of the town prior to the coming of the passengers, aka the Bible people, who are all just kind of tan because they're from Bible times. Makes sense. Israelites. They're going to start getting called Israelites. Back when the Israelites came. I'm going to have to update my demographics. All right, then. Moving on. As things settle down and the volunteers from the town start taking the Israelites on and showing them where they can go and get water and food and so forth, Sheriff Rose comes up to Dr. Anna and says, so, you came back. Glad to see you back. Glad it didn't take a year this time.
Yeah, definitely.
So, as I understand it, it's not as long for you as it is for us. For us, it was about a month and a half.
Yeah, that's correct. How long was it for us again? It was like a week?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. Oh, it was only 2 weeks this time. The changes every time we go.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it's expected.
Yes, for this area.
Sheriff Rose.
So actually, here's a question. In all of our travels around, have we noticed any of these storms? Actually witnessed one of the storms happening?
Oh, sure. I don't point it out every single time unless something's interesting.
Okay.
But no, probably about once a week.
Wow.
You see a change storm, and either you see it in the distance. 2/3 of the time you just see it, but you're not in it. I mean, like, you can literally see the edges of it as it goes by. It starts, it ends, and you can see the horizon gets like weird and psychedelic looking, and then it'll pass by. Okay. Once every month or so, it'll actually hit you, and you guys hunker down and go inside, and it blows past, and when you come back out, maybe something's changed, maybe something hasn't. Maybe the crawler was kind of brushed nickel looking before, and now it looks like it's made of copper. It's just weird shit will change like that. You haven't been hit by a big one since you got here. the big ones change entire biospheres.
Yeah.
That you've not seen personally since you got here. No, you have seen it. No. You've heard about it once. The one where the electrician and her truck showed up, but it happened when you weren't in town. You heard about it after the fact. And that's when you went and found, I don't remember her name. But anyway, you found the electrician and her truck. That was a big one. It wasn't as big as the one where you showed up, but it was a big one. So, there you go. But small ones you see once a week. Right then. Oh, Dr. Anna and Sheriff Rose. So Sheriff Rose says, and she kind of like nods toward one of the raisin people, and she says, "What's going on there?"
Oh, we couldn't leave them behind. They were slowly starving to get to death where they were.
No, I meant what happened. Are they people?
They were people just like the rest of them. They got they got attacked by another group who were using them for experiments.
Huh? Like Frankenstein.
Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah, and this is what happened to them. We haven't been able to fix it yet. If we can.
Are they dangerous?
I don't know. Not my, huh?
Are they dangerous?
No.
I heard Michael say that they're not contagious. Is that true?
That's true. It wasn't disease that caused this. It was, like I said, an effective experiment, some sort of energy experiment. We've checked them out. They're not. It's not definitely not contagious. We wouldn't have brought them if they here if they were.
Okay.
We stopped without making sure they weren't.
If I find out different, I'll have Captain Hera's little helper let you know.
Yes. We would want to know anyway, so we can get back and fix it. But we could, like I said, we couldn't leave them there. They had hardly any food.
Well, we have plenty of fish and
they can
plenty of places for them to stay.
And they can learn to work. They worked where they were. It's just different.
That's actually out of character. That's actually true, because the people on the Carnival Star were all very heavily invested in keeping the water filtration going and making the stills work. The stills weren't used for alcohol; they were used for purifying the water, and
for fishing.
And for fishing, and so they were all working pretty much constantly. They had almost no food, but they were all busy pretty much all the time surviving on their cruise ship impaled on a butte.
Yeah, so the work will be a little bit different, but it ought to be easy for them.
Yes.
Oh, this is paradise.
Yeah.
How long are you guys staying before you head back out to do whatever it is you're going to do next?
Well, we have to figure out exactly what.
Yeah.
We're going. We've got something in the truck that a lot of people might want. We kind of want to get rid of before.
We don't want to keep it here.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to keep put Tranquility in danger. So before anybody finds out that it's here, we got to take it somewhere else.
Okay, hang on. Then Randall Coburn, mayor.
May or may not.
The mayor steps up, says, "Excuse me, did you say danger? Because we can't have danger here in Tranquility. It's dangerous enough."
Exactly my point. Good man. And I pat him on the shoulder and off he goes.
Yes, we were here.
You pat him on the shoulder and gently push him away.
Just kind of lead him away and off down the street.
Yeah, we just came here to drop off the passengers and lighten our load. Maybe restock. And restock on supplies. I'm sure.
You do need more supplies. It's true. All right.
I come stepping back from leading the mayor off down the street, going, and that's why that man's mayor.
Oh, damn straight. Thank you, citizen. All it takes is like one compliment to like make his whole day. And he strides away confidently. Oh, I'll go introduce myself to our new citizens. Welcome to Tranquility, people, and smaller purple people. Welcome. Oh, in the background, Marcus, your stoic former Roman legionary, he's like standing off the side, like looking at the people who came and like mentally picking out the people who can look like they could hold themselves in a fight. So you can like see the clockworks working in his brain. He's like earmarking people who he's gonna approach to add to the town defense team.
Mhm.
They don't call it guard or soldiers. They call it defense team because someone thought that was a good idea.
The TDF, Tranquility Defense Force.
At some point, Sam Winston, the editor of the Tranquility Tribune, will want one of you to sit down and tell your whole story so that he can compress it and make a news article out of it and put out an edition of the Tranquility Tribune.
Okay, who amongst us is probably better at this? I guess I know I'm probably good at it, but
Yeah, I've got some performance for my storytelling.
I don't have performance, but you know,
Well, who wants to do it?
I have science, investigation, and diplomacy. It kind of works out good for reporting.
I was going to go with the diplomacy, manipulation, performance. Give them what we want them to know.
You go right ahead. I'd be scientific about it. You have fun.
Okay.
I'm thinking of the four of you, he's probably figured out by now that the person who likes talking the most is Captain Harrows. So he'll bring a bottle of freshly made rum and says, Captain Harrows, how about you and I go have a chat for a while? I'd like to hear what you've been up to.
Yeah,
So,
they come to me if they want a straight answer. They come to him if they want a story out of it.
he wants
Yeah.
a story. So what else you guys do? We're going to say you at least stay for a day or so to
Yeah, stay
take a shower and catch up on current events. Nothing major has happened. No one has attacked the town. No one's missing. There's been no monsters. From time to time, you get a dinosaur that sneaks in or a little group of the smaller dinosaurs. But, you know, they chase them out or they shoot them and then eat them. And it all works out. Everything's been fine. There's been no major catastrophes.
And we've gotten the town all plumbed and wired.
Well, Ty has been working furiously on that, along with the two minions you left for her, and they have put
And the electrical engineer.
and the electrician. She's a master electrician. She knows her stuff.
Master electrician.
So there's not actually electricity going through the town, but the main street is wired, and all the buildings on Main Street have at least one receptacle.
Okay.
Now the thing is, the electrical truck only had about 20 receptacles in a box. So that's pretty much all you're going to get with actual receptacles. Other than that, they're sifting through, you know, flotsam and jetsam, trying to find extension cords and things or whatever.
Yeah, extension cord bits and little, just the little ceramic bulb holders and whatever else.
You know, the
That kind of
ship
thing.
probably would have had a bunch if they hadn't all completely rusted out over time.
What would
Yeah.
have had a bunch?
The ship would have. The passenger ship.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, you
I thought
probably
like
could have
that.
stripped all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff out of that before you
Yeah.
came with. Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's the sort of thing you probably would have thought of. So, sure. The last car of the bus train is full of
Just bits.
receptacles and light sockets and bulbs that have just been yanked out of the wall.
There would have been a lot of brass on the ship we would have wanted to take. It would have been very helpful.
A lot
Yeah.
of railings. There's like a stack of brass railings.
Well, not really. I mean, actual equipment like a lot of the electrical boxes, a lot of things because they're non-sparking and like the engineering spaces would have been all been brass.
That's true. I remember that when I worked on the Chicago.
Mhm.
I helped build the USS Chicago, which was a Los Angeles fast attack submarine. I worked in the battery bay at the bottom of that thing for 6 months.
Wow.
Batteries filled with hydrochloric acid, on top of which were lead bars, and the atmosphere was full of hydrogen, because that's what batteries off gas. So
Yeah.
that's like the most dangerous thing I've ever done, is work in that battery well for 6 months. All of our tools are brass,
Yep.
because if they fell across the bars, it would explode.
Well,
So
well, the brassicas are non-sparking.
And
that's it.
You
plastic dip.
imagine that. Yep.
Lots of plastic dip, yes.
Yep.
And everything was tethered. Everything was tethered.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't risk dropping anything. So that was all kinds
so
of
that
fun.
made you decide you didn't want to work on that kind of thing, and you were doing what you do now.
Actually, I had like a nervous breakdown and moved to California.
Oh,
But
okay.
we don't need to go into that right now.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, you kill a day or two, hanging around town, talking to people. Ty gives Captain Harrows. Oh, she comes. Captain Harrows is talking to Sam Winston over a cup of rum. Ty comes, stands there, and like twidgets in space for a minute, and says, "I'll come back," and then she leaves. And then like 2 hours later, she comes back, and she's like fidgets in place, and she says, "I'll come back," and then she leaves. This happens like 4 times while you're telling Sam Winston your story, and he's just sitting there drinking, and from time to time he takes a note. Just or he'll ask a question. It's like, so these spider creatures, they're how big would you say they were? And you're describing. He's like taking a note, and he takes a sketch. Anyway, so 3 in the morning,
I get it. The next
Ty comes in,
Wow.
stands there, fidgets for a minute. Okay,
Yes.
what? I
I was just gonna say after about the second or third time, I'd say yes, Ty.
want to report everything is working perfectly. We had a small problem with the desalinization filter, which I fixed. Other than that, everything is working fine, sir.
Oh, wonderful, Ty. You finished your primer on Pastor's theories.
Indeed. And I've gone on to chapters 4 and 5. I have a question about, and she names some esoteric thing that I'm not going to even look up.
Yeah, if it's biology or I direct her to the one of us who would know it best.
Probably Michael.
Be Michael if it's more, bio.
I think I'll wait for the morning to bother Master Michael, but I will certainly ask him as soon as it's light.
Good plan.
Is there anything else you need?
No, I don't think so. You've done a wonderful job here, Ty. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night. And she leaves. And Sam's like holding his glass like up to here, like watching. Says, that kid has a thing for you. How old is she?
Might be right. Young enough to be my granddaughter.
Go out for a couple of weeks, and maybe several years will pass, and she won't be young enough to be your granddaughter.
Yeah, then she'll be old enough to be his daughter.
And that's not nearly as creepy.
Well, I'm glad it's not my problem.
It's so weird here.
Meanwhile, everybody else, what are you guys doing?
Well, Michael's going to check on the blacksmithy, of course, as he always does.
Jack has been running the blacksmith and appears to be fairly happy and doing a good job of it. Nobody's complained to you about him, so that's good.
Yay.
He's actually taken on one of the former Edgelord's gang as an apprentice.
That's good. And how goes the bullet making process? Because that's probably one of the most important things here.
He was thinking to show you Jack looks like. Since it's been a while since I've shown you this guy. just such a low-res picture, but it'll do. So he says, well, I was talking to Sheriff Rose about this, and we were thinking having a lot of... We've lost Donald and Kieran.
Yep.
I just noticed. Well, whatever. They'll come back or they
Come
won't.
back. I said I'll take a break as soon as I'm done with my thing, and you can go to them.
Well, actually, we can take a break now if you want. You guys want to take a break?
That's fine.
We'll take a break. See you in 5.
So what does he and the sheriff want to do about the bullet?
Oh, well, I was talking to Sheriff Rose, and we were thinking, with the limited amount of lead we've got, and how much work it takes to make bullets, and how few people there are to make bullets, and we thought it would make sense to make a... She had a word for it. A hamperdize, for us to hamperdize on a couple of different size bullets, because there's more guns than there are people. So if we hamperdize on particular bullet sizes, then we can just focus on those and have more of them. And I thought that sounded like a good idea.
Probably a very good idea.
Oh,
Well, go for
the
it.
word he's looking for is standardize.
Okay, yeah.
But he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
I'll give him the proper word. And,
Oh, that's the word she used. Standard eyes. We are standardizing. And he tells you, and if Lloyd were here, he could tell us what they would be. But he tells you like 4 different bullets plus one kind of shotgun pellets. And he thinks,
sounds good.
that way they can make the most of those, and we can make sure, everybody's got the right ammunition.
Sounds good. I like that.
Also, Paulie here. Remember Paulie? He's one of the people who is whipping Sam in the street. Well, he feels terrible about that. So, but forgive and forget, right? And Paulie's like, "Yeah, ma'am, I'm real sorry about that." And he's like, "Yeah, well, everything's past is past. We're moving on, right? Make it better tomorrow by making it better today." So I've been teaching him how to make nails and horseshoes.
The more blacksmiths there are, the better.
And Paulie tips his hat and says, "Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you kindly. I'm pleased for this offer of employment, and I'm pleased to be useful." He's like, "Yeah, he's been okay. He's not as good as I am, but I think he's got potential." So I brought him on as an apprentice because I didn't have enough time to do everything people are asking me to do.
Mm-hmm.
So nails. People need a whole lot of nails, especially after those big bugs ate all the walls and buildings.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, I'll be back for a little while, so I can help too.
oh, that's good because I had a couple questions. People brought me these things and I don't know how to fix them. So I'll show you some, some things that he doesn't know how to fix. Particular weird kind of hinges.
Mm-hmm.
Not simple hinges, but the kind that like IKEA cabinets have. That
Yeah.
it's like 2 pieces connected by 2 other pieces and makes kind of like a this, like that kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't actually know how to fix those because they're broken. If he had one to go by, he could probably figure it out. But as it is, I don't even know what I'm looking at. So you
Okay.
spend the day working with him on that kind of thing.
Yep.
So
Tomorrow, if you bring up nails to Captain Harrow's, he'll have Ty look into making a wire extruder to make nails.
Well, I'll be right back, just being briefly, because I got to get some tea.
Okay.
a wire what to make nails?
Extruder.
Oh,
Basically, how you make a nail is you make a long wire, and then you cut it into a point on one end and mash the. Basically, you grab it in the middle, and 2 dies smack it. One makes the head, and one makes the tip. And that's why you've got those little ridges on all your nails. There's those 3 little ridges around it.
interesting. I thought that was so it would grip the wood.
That's where the clamp holds it while the dies form it.
Interesting. Well,
Yep.
between you and Michael and Ty and Jack, you guys can figure that stuff out. So you spend
Yeah,
the day doing that.
It's not that hard to make them automated, but it takes an entirely different method of making nails than was used in the
Well, the
18th.
town goes through more nails than anything else, even more than bullets. They don't go through that many bullets. They really only shoot at dinosaurs. So
Yeah,
when one shows up, they shoot a lot of bullets. But other than that, it's like there's not shootouts in town, that kind of thing. It's not that kind of town. Not anymore, anyway.
we could
So-
probably set up a little machine to mass produce nails.
So you spend the day doing that with Michael and Jack and Ty. And meanwhile, Dr. Anna and Isco, what do you guys do up to?
I was gonna say, it sounds like if all we have is small arms, we need something that's larger. We need something that's, I don't know, a cannon or small artillery or something to actually to take out the larger threats, because those aren't going to do much. We've shown they don't do anything in dinosaurs.
Yeah, the small arms, the big dinosaurs, essentially don't. Small arms are more like just like flicking it in the face until it gets tired of it and it leaves. That's really all the small arms are doing. It's not going to actually hurt the thing.
Yep.
Like when you guys have faced off against Tyrannosaurus, it's not like you're going to kill it.
Yeah, we
It's
use
more like-
guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're convincing it that this food is not worth the trouble.
Yeah.
That's really what you're doing. So that's kind of all they do when the big dinosaurs attack. The small ones, like the raptors, they're killable. So the bullets are actually useful for that. You don't currently have any cannons or big weapons at all. The town doesn't, anyway.
You're muted, Donald.
They need something like that then.
So what we need is hard alloy tips for penetration and then an explosive body.
That is expensive in resources.
Yep.
And the town
Or we
doesn't
can see
really
if we
have...
can, utilize the smithy to create a cannon.
You can make a cannon, sure.
Hmm.
Like the type style cannon, black powder cannon.
Well, the kind of cannon you have on pirate ships, that kind of thing.
Because cannons can be.
No, it
No.
takes a lot of powder.
Yeah.
But other than that, the resources are not something that are in short supply.
Yeah,
So-
and you are throwing, a 4, 6, 8 pound ball.
Yeah.
And that's going to get his attention a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Even with less energy from the slower speed, you're still going to get his attention more.
Yeah.
Well,
And if you do
also,
wind up killing it, you can reclaim the ball. So-
And also, Michael, being a Civil War reenactor, will explain to you grape shot.
Ah.
ah.
Yeah.
And being a sailor, chain shot and flechette.
So,
Once-
anything else
once
Isco
you
up to?
Nails mass
So that-
produced?
No, yeah, I'll work at the forge a little bit to help them figure out how we're gonna work on designing
Okay.
that.
Yeah, no.
It's a group effort.
They work for once.
Once we get the nails mass produced, you just make a cannon that fires a can full of nails at them.
The old shotgun, you know what that is.
Mhm.
Well, no, it's flechette though. Instead of little balls, you've got little point fires.
Yeah.
So you get the penetration of an armor-piercing round with the effect of a shotgun. It tends to rip living flesh into pieces.
Right then.
I like it.
So, whole gang's down designing cannons and carts to mount cannons on so you can move them around, because fixed defenses are a fool's game, as Michael, I'm sure, can tell you. Let's see. Dr. Anna, what are you up to? Well, they're all doing that. That's really not Dr. Anna's bag, right?
No, I don't already. I'm gonna restock on arrows. Because and I probably figured out how to make the heads in the smithy myself, just so I'm not adding to other people's workloads, and gives me something to do.
Fair enough.
Anything else? Probably unless I've taught somebody else how to make soap, go ahead and make a big batch of that, because that's good for like a year. If you make a big enough batch, it's good for like a year. Seriously?
Oh,
What is that?
Oh,
No, close your door.
Sounds like a fire alarm.
It does.
It was a fire alarm.
Huh. Is he cooking?
No.
Yeah, well, that's one way to put it.
Smoking a pipe?
You're good.
You smoking a pipe, Donald?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's all we're going to say about that. All right.
Yeah.
So, so Dr. Anna hangs around the Red Dog Saloon with Tandy, the bartender, and shoots the breeze, and you can tell Tandy about what stuff you been going on with, and she'll make you martinis, because there you go. Or Manhattans, or whatever.
Don't let her make me whatever. She's let her have fun creating whatever she wants. See how it turns out.
Tandy's from like 1930, give or
Yeah.
take, New York. She was wait, I've forgotten. Hang on, let me double check something. When I feel stupid for not remembering this. Prohibition was 1920 to 1933. Yes. So she's from Prohibition era New York. She was a bartender at a speakeasy in like 1932. So where she's from, alcohol was illegal, which is why she was good at making it, because that's how you got it. Bathtub gin. Here, have a bathtub full of gin. So that's what Tandy was about. Yeah, you shoot the breeze of Tandy while you're making arrows for like a day.
Yeah.
Not a problem. You kind of get the impression Tandy's into you a little bit, but isn't going to push it. Because as far as she knows, there's nobody in town who is Tandy's persuasion. Maybe that'll change. Who knows?
You're muted again, honey.
I thought she was hitting it off well with the electrician.
I totally forgot about that. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Never mind. Forget that. The electrician is hanging around the bar for an oddly large amount of time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, everybody can be happy. It's a nice world. Well, other than the parts that want to kill you. So.
Screw them.
Screw them. All right, then. I got the picture of the electrician here somewhere. Zombie tower. Technomage. Goodness gracious.
Oh,
I was so prepared for you guys to go fight the Technomage.
Yeah. Somewhere along the line,
here you go.
Michael has made himself a nice horned helmet to make him feel a little more Viking.
Real Vikings didn't have horns in the helmets, man. That's
Since he's
totally
got a smithy.
opera. Okay, that's the electrician.
Oh, yeah, you showed us that. You showed me
Roberta.
that.
I remember her name. Her name's Roberta. So Roberta hangs around the Red Dog Saloon quite a lot.
Has she been doing electrical stuff? I mean, we had wires amongst
Oh, yeah.
them.
Her and Tandy have run wire and installed receptacles in all of the major buildings along Main Street.
Oh, cool. So we have electricity now.
No, not yet, but you have the wiring.
We have the wiring. Okay.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
At some point, and this is something they've talked with Captain Harris about, I guess, at some point, is setting up some kind of automated turbine that uses temperature differential, and this is actually Ty's idea. Because the sea that you're on the coast of is cold. It's like 50 degrees. So Ty was researching on temperature differential and developing electrical currents, and this is actually more complicated physics than Captain Harrows actually understands. So she's talking about thermocouples, essentially. And Captain Harrows knows what a thermocouple is, but the theory of it is just a little bit beyond him, and what she's talking about is like a little bit beyond that.
I asked if she
physics I do as Leslie, I understand some of it too.
Yeah, no, I asked her if she's related to Robert Sterling.
Okay, who is Robert Sterling? I don't know who that is.
Robert Stirling was the inventor of the external combustion engine,
Wait,
which used
it's a science
temperature-
fiction author, isn't it? Robert Sterling? No, I'm thinking of somebody else.
No, you're thinking of Rod Serling.
Yes. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, he's the Night Gallery.
Right,
This is
right,
Robert
right.
Stirling, who built in 1816.
An external combustion engine? That sounds
Yeah.
crazy.
It's the Stirling engine. It basically, you heat one side of the piston and cool the other side of the piston, and it uses the pressure differential between the hot side and cold side to shuttle the piston back and forth. And then that either gets turned into rotational energy, or you put coils on it and it comes right out as electricity. They're very, very efficient. Well, not really, because the heat that actually gets to them, they use very, very efficiently.
She's actually talking about something else. Thermoelectric power. The Seebeck effect and the Peltier effect.
Oh, okay, Peltier.
Right. So what she's talking about is actually fairly technically advanced.
Yeah, I'm talking about stuff from her time, and she's talking about stuff from my time.
Yes. Yes. And you're starting to pick up on the fact that she's actually brilliant.
Yeah, she's actually sharper than me in some...
In some ways. She cannot talk to machines like you can. For her, it's all purely doing stuff with objects. There's no talking to them involved. But she's really, really sharp. So, anyway, so you guys talk about that. It's not feasible for what you've got on hand yet, but she has a plan if you find the materials to do it. And she'll give you a list of the materials. Here, I prepared a list. Oh, here, sir, I prepared a list for you. If you should encounter these in your travels, I'd find them most useful in our research. If you don't mind. So there's that.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking for it.
It's a solid... What she has sketched out is a solid-state device that converts heat flux or temperature differences directly into electrical power. But she needs some elements that you don't have access to. It's like some rare earth stuff. But you might run into it. Who knows? All right, then. Moving on. A couple of days go by. What are you going to do? You've settled. You've figured out what you need. You've put out any remaining fires that people needed your help to put out. The Israelites, which is how the townspeople are referring to them now. Congratulations. No matter how often they say they're passengers, everybody else refers to them as Israelites. 10 years from now, it'll settle out one way or the other. Maybe you'll be there for that. Maybe you won't.
Depends on if we get stuck in one of those storms.
We'll see. Oh, the materials you need. Hang on. I think I found that. She's written them down on your list. Bismuth telluride, lead telluride, and silicon germanium.
Okay.
Telluride and germanium are rare earth elements.
Yeah.
So, good luck.
Bismuth is not that easy to find either. I put her on the track of a Stirling engine because she can probably find the parts for this. Matter of fact, she probably has the parts for a Stirling. And as long as she keeps the flywheel spun up, it should serve the same purpose.
Well, I mean, I suppose it'll do.
I will look. I will see if I can find you the materials that you need, because I'm very interested in your experiment. And
I'm ever so grateful.
Michael will probably say, "Good luck. They're very rare."
yes, no, I want to see. I'm hoping I can bring back at least a ton of each because I really want to see how well this scales up.
All right. You have all these conversations. What are you going to do now? What are you guys doing now?
For now, a pressure
Well,
differential.
we have two. We have that futuristic group of people that might have some of those elements.
Yeah. I'm not counting it out. I'm just saying that for now, I think an easier way to get the energy would be to just have these pistons moving, and then you put magnets in the pistons and coils in the cylinders, and that makes an electric charge.
Well, it's not very elegant, though, is it? But I suppose one must make do with what one has. Stiff upper lip.
Not
Right then, moving on.
not nearly as elegant, but it'll do for now.
All right. Meanwhile, your big problem is this.
And it's also technology that's only 2 centuries earlier in development. So. Yeah. So what do we do with the Pashupatastra? With the heart of the Pashupatastra? Like I say, I want to launch it into the maelstrom somehow.
I don't know how that will help. What's going to happen?
Is there a way-
I
wonder
feel
if
like
there's a
I'm
way
being
we
the
can destroy it without blowing the world up.
I feel like I'm being the bad guy by pointing this out, but I will point out just one more time, the last time. You have a lead on somebody who may be able to reverse the raisinification of 24 people from the Carnival Star. You have a lead.
Okay, let's go after the techno mage.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying you have a lead.
It makes a lot of sense.
Well, is there a way? I think what we need is, since we've also got a lot of lead, and lead shields radioactivity, it might also shield the power of the heart of Pashupatastra. I think we need to make sure that it cannot be found. So we need
hiding it from people who are looking for it. That's actually very clever.
Yeah. So I.
Oh, hey, take an extra plot point, Michael. Take an extra plot point, because that's a very clever idea. I had not thought of it. Anything I don't think of is clever by osmosis.
No, by definition, really.
Yeah, let's before we go anywhere, before we look for the techno mage, I'm going to build a box to hide it.
As I recall, the original locomotive that the town had, that was not working, had tons of lead bars bolted to the inside of the carriage of the thing to prevent it from rusting.
Mm-hmm.
Which is I forget the term for it, but it's a thing. Like they do it in boats all the time.
Yeah.
Cathodic protection. Cathodic protection.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you have tons of lead, and you've been turning it into bullets, but you've got,
Tons of lead.
well, not literally tons, but lead's weird in much the same way gold is, because when you say, oh, you've got like 15 pounds of lead, it's actually not that much lead, because lead's so heavy. Gold's also very, very heavy. When you see people on TV picking up a piece of gold and doing this with it, okay, that's bullshit. Because this right here, this is like as much as a 5-pound bag of sugar when you're talking lead or gold. So you're like, ugh, ugh, ugh. If it was real, no. When you see people picking up gold bars in movies and they're like the size of a loaf of bread, and they're like, hey, I got a gold bar. No, it's not gold. If it was doing that, it'd take you and another guy to pick that up. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, stuff 6 of them into your pants pocket. Sure, buddy.
Yeah. Anyway, however much lead you've got plenty, and you can either build another box and line it with lead and put the box that it's currently into that box, or lead has a fairly low melting point. You can take the double layer box that Cat and Harrow's made and just line the inside of it with lead and do that. Whatever works for you. It doesn't really matter to me. Just pick one.
Either one will work. We can do that.
Okay. You have a lead-lined box. Sorry. A lead-lined box. And the Pashupatastra is inside of that. Now what?
Now we can go look for the Technomage.
Do you leave the Pashupatastra behind? Or do you take it with you?
No, we are taking it with us.
We better take it with us, yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
if we
Okay.
leave it here, it's too easy for Sharon to come along and steal. And who knows what the hag has seen.
Speaking of which, as you're getting ready to leave town, you hear what sounds like distant thunder. And you're like loading up the crawler, and you've converted it back to just a crawler now, right? It's not the.
I have, and when I hear the distant thunder, I have the crawler play through the loudspeaker the hag's cackle.
What I would also do is if we're going to take the heart with us, I think we better put it someplace in the crawler that is well shielded and well.
Oh yeah.
Like down in the engine compartment?
Yeah, and cover it up and camouflage it and stuff like that.
Like it's down in the engine compartment and around a corner and behind the radiator pipes.
Stuck inside the airbox. You know, yeah.
Fine, it's been concealed and you spent effort doing that. I'll get it. Distant thunder. You're loading up the crawler, and I'm assuming it's back to just being a crawler and it's not the bus train.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. At the moment, the crawler is made out of brass because a chainstorm came through and changed everything metal into brass. The knives are brass. The guns are brass.
What if it was already brass?
If it's already brass, it stays brass.
Okay.
So,
Even on
anything that was steel, well, not every metal, but ferrous metal all turned to brass.
That's not good.
Congratulations. Your machete is brass.
Are you kidding me? I have minions polishing themselves and this thing day and night.
The minions are brass.
The minions
now,
they take great pride in polishing themselves.
Now, there are downsides to this because the engine of the thing stopped working quite so well after it became brass, because brass tends to have a lot of friction when it rubs against itself. So you had to start go overtime oiling things. So there are downsides. So one of the things that while you guys were off at the smithy working on your various projects, the minions were essentially putting steel sleeves into the engines of the crawler and replacing the piston heads with steel piston heads and doing that sort of thing. So by the time you come back to it, it actually all works fairly normal. Also, all the electrical stuff stopped working when it became brass, so they've replaced all the wiring back with copper wiring, which fortunately you have a plentiful supply here in town.
Okay.
Any questions now?
Yeah, no, I was thinking we were using one of the crash spaceship casino ships, little power units and some brushless induction motors or something, but
well, the power units in the casino spaceship did not get affected by the whole ferrous metal to brass change.
Yeah.
So those are fine. But it did do a number on most of the normal operational stuff of the crawler. It would still work, but lots of things that weren't essential to its operation stopped working. Like the intercoms just stopped working. But that's all fixed now. Yay! That is the least problematic chain storm you've seen. That you've actually been in. They're usually much worse than that. So changing all the ferrous metal to brass is actually something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
You ready to move out? Because all that's been fixed. Meanwhile, the whole thing's brass. It's all shiny. That does not affect things characters paid points for. So Isco's flaming scimitar Nah, whatever the hell it's made out of, it's still a flaming scimitar. So Isco's, Erling Shen's Lady Ashwand, unaffected. It is 2nd century BC Chinese steel. Always.
How about
He paid points for it.
the guns?
Hmm?
How about guns?
Oh, they became brass.
Oh.
Which,
Can
they
you
still
switch
work.
Brass? Okay.
They just don't work quite as well.
Mhm.
And eventually they'll be deformed by use because brass doesn't
Unless you
hold
go,
up.
yeah, unless
Now
you
they're smithing. Now we're gonna. I'll tell Jack before we leave that he might want to start thinking about ways of making guns when we can get some more ferrous metal.
As it happens, this was an Old West town, and 2/3 of them died shortly after they got here. So the town literally has more guns than people.
Okay, so then not
So
all
when you
the
get back to town, you swap out your brass guns for ones that are actually made out of steel or iron
Okay.
or whatever.
But
So it's
only
not a big deal.
it only hit a certain part of the town.
No, it didn't hit the town. It hit you guys on the way here.
Oh, it has.
This is kind of like a retro backstory. On the way to the town, this happened.
Okay.
So yeah, it didn't hit the town. It hit you guys. And I'm not sure why I'm throwing it at you now rather than an hour ago, but it seemed like a good idea. So there we go.
Okay, cool.
It just kind of ballooned. All right, so the brass crawler. Does it have a name now? What's its name this week, Donald?
Oh, made of brass like this.
The Golden Hind?
I was thinking the Archimedes mirror.
The Archimedes mirror. You're cranking up the engines.
Archimedes.
The minions have replaced everything that needs to be iron or steel with what is iron or steel. And crank up the engines, ready to go, and you hear distant thunder.
Oh.
Okay. We roll out I blast through the PA, the hags cackle, and we start to roll out of town.
And then this flies overhead.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh.
I don't think that's the hag.
No, I go ahead and shine a light at it, and go ahead and flash off a quick Morse code.
Huh. All right. Let me see if I notice. So what would that be? What kind of role would that be? Pick something.
As far as I know, it's required learning at the Coast Guard Academy.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just give the person in the plane a flat difficulty value of 3. So I'm rolling for them and against them. That's messed up.
Oh, okay.
So how about you, Donald? Roll
I'm
2d6. Roll 2d6. Add 3, and I'll tell you what I roll.
8.
Holy cow! I also rolled 8. Fortunately, my skills add up to more than 3. So you flash some lights at the Curtis Warhawk that flew by, and a few seconds later, it banks and turns and comes back and starts getting lower in the sky toward you. And you start thinking, is it going to do a strafing run on me?
Yeah.
You're hoping it was Amelia Earhart, weren't you?
I was kind of hoping. What I flashed at it is, do you need assistance?
Okay. As it goes overhead, the wings tilt, and then tilt and tilt, and then tilt, and then tilt, and it keeps doing that as it flies overhead.
Okay, what's the Morse code work out to?
No. And then it banks again, and it comes in really low, inland from the town. Well, can't land on the water. It's not a seaplane. And it
was he waggling the wings in Morse code, by the way?
Yes, he was. That was very clever of you to notice. Get a plot point for you. So, hooray, yeah. Because, yes, the wings were Morse code. And the response was no. The plane comes down really low, and you're in scrubland, which is kind of iffy. Let's see if the person lands safely or destroys their train. I mean, plane. Train, what the hell? Oh, double sixes. Awesome. Plane lands in a smooth area. Boop, boop, boop. It lands, I don't know, quarter mile outside town. Yay! Now what?
Let's go out and meet him.
I'd head the crawler up to meet him.
All right, the townsfolk open up the gate. You take the crawler out. They close it behind you because dinosaurs.
And we don't know what this guy's up to.
Yeah, and by the time you get there, the pilot is getting out of the plane, and she looks like this.
Amelia Earhart.
Amelia.
She comes down. She looks at you guys.
It's Earhart.
She's like, oh, hi there. What are you up to? I saw your signal. I don't need help, do you?
Yes. We might. But first off, something I think you should know.
There's all sorts of things I ought to know. I'm ready to hear something, though.
The 99s have turned the old Otis house back the way it was when your grandfather was alive.
Well, I'm sure he'd be happy to hear it if he was alive.
Your
Well,
childhood.
thanks. So I take it you're from my future, right?
Yes.
So how far?
Yes.
2,000? 3,000?
2019.
Holy moly! Ain't that the cat's pajamas?
So only, that 60, 70 years?
Well, you say it like that's not nothing. But that's a pretty long time. All right, then. Well, hey, I'm Amy. Hi. She puts her hands. He's like, pleased to meet you. I was really surprised to see your signal. Oh, God, she sounds Irish. I'm trying to make her sound like New Yorker, or not New York, but like that Northeast, like clipped really fast thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, what's her name? Wait. She was in The Lion in Winter. She was on Golden Pond. Katharine Hepburn. I'm trying to make her sound like that, like really fast clipped talk like Katharine Hepburn did.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, she's sounding Irish.
You got to get me talking in a Jersey accent, and then you probably get the right thing.
No, she's Indiana.
Well, I'm doing what I'm doing. So,
But yeah, no. What that is actually just about right.
right then.
Um,
Well, hey there. So, I haven't seen Morse code in ages. That was you?
yeah.
Or was it you? She points over to Isco. You look like a sailor. You know Morse code?
Sailor? No, ma'am. I do not.
Not too bad.
No, it's the captain that's the ex-Coast Guard.
Yeah.
Coast Guard. Ooh, saving lives. I like that.
Learned to sail in Quincy Bay, right off the coast, right next to your old airport.
Are you a fan? Because I've run into one or two of you before. People who know who I am and are fans. I'm not saying I mind, but it's a little weird. I won't lie. Well, that's some machine you got. She like walks past you guys and like looks at the crawler, and she's like, "What the? That is really something."
Thank you. I built it myself.
Holy moly! You got little middlemen. She like taps one of the minions on the tummy, and he like. And she turns around, she points at Captain Harris. She's like, "You're the ones I got that diesel fuel from about 6 months ago."
Yes, that's right.
I felt terrible about that, but I was running really low. Gotta do what you gotta do.
You have to do, yeah, exactly. You have to keep the ship fueled.
Now, nowadays, old Bessie can run on saline. She walks over to the ship, to the plane, and like pats the side of it. So no more diesel fuel for me. But I did feel bad about that, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, it's all right. After all, my aunt's one of the 99s. It should be your privilege.
Well, that's kind of you to say. So, you people from that the town over there behind the wooden walls.
Tranquility, yeah.
Sort of.
Normally, I don't really land places like that because they don't usually have diesel fuel. But then again, like I say, I don't need diesel fuel anymore, so my needs have changed. I don't suppose they have rum.
Well,
No,
yes.
she wouldn't say that. I don't suppose they have bourbon.
Bourbon.
Have had bourbon in the Coon's age.
I think that's one of the first things she made.
Check with Sandy. I know she's got a passable gin and something that is not unlike rum.
There was some other alcohol that Tenny was making when we first got here.
Yeah, she had some whiskey.
Yeah. Whiskey's bourbon. Close enough.
Once you've crossed dimensions, the difference in whiskeys really make a very little difference.
I also had a passable beer, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, wouldn't mind a beer. I don't want to leave Bessie out here. You know, dinosaurs. I don't know if you noticed, they have a dinosaur problem in this area.
Big one.
Would you like to taxi her up to the walls, and we'll take you in and let the defense force on the walls keep watch while we get you a beer and get you introduced around?
Well, I think that's a fine idea. She climbs it back up in the plane, powers it up, and takes it down.
And I'd, hit the radio and tell Ty to, call up Sheriff Rose. We've got another visitor.
Oops. I muted when I meant to unmute. Tranquility, will do. Out. Here you get there.
Yep.
She climbs out the plane, introduces herself to Sheriff Rose. Sheriff Rose is like, nice to meet you. Is that the thing that's flying around? And she's like, yep, pat, pat, pat. Oh, Bessie. And the letters and numbers that are painted on the plane are BSE, so that's where you think she got Bessie from.
Right.
There is some brief conversation. The people of Tranquility are not as enamored of her as you are, because as far as they're concerned, she has a weird flying device, and that's pretty much the end of what makes her interesting.
Right.
So, they're not fans. So what do you do? What's the plan?
Basically get her introduced around, get her a drink so that she can come back when she needs to. Apologize that we're actually in the middle of doing something. We were about to head out.
Oh. Well, thanks for the welcome. I'll partake of your local speakeasy, and we shall see each other again, I'm sure.
Yes. Do you monitor a radio frequency?
Oh, no, Bessie's radio got hit by a bullet. I suspect by the Germans.
Oh. Well.
And she names the caliber of bullet that she pulled out of the radio. And she says, that particular caliber of bullet is, in her time, is known to be a German caliber of bullet. So she's thinking at some point, America went to war with Germany.
Indeed.
Fancy that.
That would be true.
Son of a gun.
Yep. In that case, maybe Ty would like to look at the radio real quick. I'm sure we've got enough spare random electronics parts.
I'd be happy to, sir. She climbs up in it. All right, so this is going to take a while. So you guys take off?
Yeah, we can leave Amelia in Ty's hands, and at least now we've got, can radio, and she can radio into Tranquility when she's coming in, and everybody's happy.
Presumably.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, do we still have that cultist? What did we do with him?
I don't know. You brought him back to the town, and presumably Sheriff Rose has him in her one jail cell. But actually, that's an excellent point. At some point, Sheriff Rose will ask,
We probably ought to take
what do I
him.
do with this fella?
We probably ought to take him with us.
Feel free.
What are we going
Because
to do with him?
he's purple, and at this point, he's kind of wizened up the way the raisin people... I'm calling them raisin people. I'm not sure what Tranquility people will call them. Dwarfs. The people in Tranquility call them dwarfs. He's wizened up like the dwarfs are, but he's not a dwarf. He's normal size. So, yeah, I don't know what to do about this guy. So, if you want to take him, I will not object.
Yeah, I figure we take him with us. Worst case scenario, we...
Dump him somewhere?
Oops! I dropped the cultist.
Yeah.
Where'd he go? I don't know. Who had him last? He was here a minute ago. He's gone now. Oh no!
I saw him standing on the front looking down at one of the treads. Maybe he slipped.
Oh goodness gracious! All right.
He got his robes caught. It's dangerous world out there.
It's a dangerous world. All right then. So you guys and the cultist head out into the wilds of the Outland. Toward what?
Find the sorcerer wherever he is. Let's follow the path we did before so we can stay on this curvature that makes us lose less time.
Might the raider know? Because they stole it. They stole the fancy deal from the other sorcerer.
I will not help you, humans. We will prey upon you. Your time will come.
Shutting up.
Yeah, he's not helpful.
Maybe he needs to slip sooner than later.
Maybe Michael, you could do the out that way maybe.
Yeah, that sounds good.
A gag always works.
Okay. Okay.
I'll just walk up behind him and flick his ear.
All right then. So you cruise through scrublands where there are dinosaurs. You pass like grazing. What do we call them? What do you call like a bunch of like say antelope? What do you call that?
Antelope.
A herd?
Herd.
Herd, yeah.
Thank you. You pass a herd of herbivorous dinosaurs, and they kind of shy away from the noise of the crawler. But other than that, they just want to eat grass and be dinosaurs. They're not out to hurt anybody. And you pass through other weird biomes. Oh, you see that area where the giant floating skyscrapers above you again? That's weird. Pass. What?
At some point along this, we're going to take the heart out of the box and give about a half an hour of signal driving at 90 degrees to our intended path, then put it in the box and correct our route.
Oh, trying to be sneaky, deceptive,
So that
in case somebody's tracking you somehow.
If somebody is tracking us by its radiation, it looks like we're headed to the Hag.
That is
From
very funny.
Tranquility with it. And somebody goofed up and gave them a signal real quick, and
That's funny. So you do that. At some point, you pass through the far future desolate wasteland planet that has been bombed to shit and back, and is like there's toxic chemical lakes everywhere. The place where you got the Eye of Odin. So you pass through that for a bit. There are ghouls, which are humanoid creatures with like long teeth that just chase you. But if you don't slow down, you can pass them by pretty easily. There's nothing here you actually want to stop and look at, so not a problem. Keep going. Uh, I'm looking for the next fun thing you can see. Oh, the crawler. Although it's now made of brass. The front is on the left. I think that's hilarious. Alright, moving on. You hit like a swampy area. You don't see any lizard people, but you know that lizard people tend to populate the swampy areas. Not sure why. Oh, look, there's that big hand thing you passed earlier. Well, a few weeks ago, a month ago. The cinnamon desert, big hand. Poking out of it. There you go. So a lot of the stuff's familiar, so it doesn't change all the time.
Yeah, I update the charts and note any differences and yada yada yada.
Okay. Ooh. That's neat, but I don't think I'll show it to you. Oh, wow. Alright, so eventually get to the rough, crystal-strewn area where the great big crystal tower is. And you know from here you turn straight south. So you do?
Yep.
Alright, go straight south. From there you get to the area with the big buttes and mesas. It takes about a day, and then several hours going through this because you're zigzagging through buttes and mesas. And eventually, the water level starts just a centimeter or two, and then gradually gets deeper and deeper until you're about half of a meter, 50 centimeters deep in water, which is not a problem for the crawler, not a problem at all. You're splashing through this, zigzagging through the mesas. You see the Carnival Star, which is impaled upon a butte. Turn east.
I say we lose the cultist here.
Just kick him out.
Boot.
I'm assuming he's gagged at this point and just sitting there glowering at you, plotting his revenge.
Boot.
Does anyone not want to kick Benny the cultist out of the crawler?
Well, if you're not going to be helpful, buddy, why should we carry you along with us?
All right, I've heard no objections.
Boot him
I'm
out.
assuming you
Donald, muted.
Oh, I was gonna say it is vaguely possible that it is the cultist that figured out the life drain thing, rather than the wizard. But
no, Morgat. Well,
oh,
Morgat learned that the wizard learned that chemical combination could be used to create a miasma of fog that would drain the life energy from one person and then transfer it to the next. Morgat learned that.
So we need to go find the wizard.
we need to go eliminate Morgat and steal his data set.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're back again.
And then they all went to the wizard and stole the crystal and the recipe for the liquid from the wizard, because he's the one who actually created that. All right then. So you kick out the cultist. Plash! He lands in the water. It's like waist deep at this point. He's like, "Humans, I will have my revenge upon you!" and you cruise along. No big deal.
Yeah, sure,
Are
buddy.
you cold, Craig? You look cold.
I keep the house a little cooler, but I wear a sweater or such, or I have a space heater.
111.
Who?
Your
Oh,
thing
yes.
says 111.
Oh yeah, Vault 111.
Yeah, same here. We keep our house pretty cold too.
Nah,
Donna likes it anyway. So.
Yeah, that
I was gonna say the house. We keep the house a little warm for me at 65.
keep it.
That's funny.
Whatever that is in Fahrenheit, and if I'm in a spot for a while, I'll bring the space heater in maybe, or just wear something like this. If it gets any colder, yeah, I'll turn the heat up. But it's not that bad here right now.
It's weird, Craig. Last week, or last time we played, you were like crystal clear.
Huh.
Now you're like super low res. You're extremely grainy.
It's so weird. I'm gonna do a speed test on my ISP right now. I have this cable company that's, I don't know. I'm not impressed with them. I'm only at 20. What? Jeez.
Yeah, you were like
500
super
down and
blurry.
500 down and 20 up, and it's yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, we're very unhappy with our ISP as well.
Unfortunately, it's like the best where I am. There is no gig anything here. It's all, yeah, it's all. Now, so not only is it not gig, not fiber, it's not gig, and it's limited, extremely limited up.
Okay, you cruise along for a bit. You approach the cave where you know that the raiders have or had. You don't know if they came back or what. You didn't explore the entirety of their base, so there's probably a lot of that you never even saw. But the cave that leads to the raiders' base and has like smoke coming out of it, toxic, nasty, foul-smelling smoke. That's red smoke that stings your eyes. Oh. So do you go in there, or do you keep going looking for this wizard? Where's your actual goal? What are you doing?
We're gonna go find the wizard, sorcerer, whatever that knows the recipe or whatever to use the P word dealie that we got.
Pasture.
Yeah, to give them their life force back. That's my understanding.
Pashupati, the heart of Pashupati,
Yeah.
or as it was first described to you, as the Pashupatastra. The word astra means weapon, so the weapon of Pashupati.
Mm.
And this is the heart of Pasture.
The heart of Pashupati is how the spirits described it.
Right. Now, I wonder if we get a device that can transfer life energy back into the raisin people. Or what would happen if we hook Cyril up to the other end of it?
I don't know.
Let's not go there.
Or Erlang. No, Erlang's got immortality and regeneration. I bet you he can shrug it off.
I don't know. So what's your plan? Where are you going? What are you doing? We've lost Leslie for a bit. Dr. Anna, what's your opinion on current events?
Oh, we gotta keep going. So.
All right.
Yeah, heading for the where we're headed.
At this point, you're kind of relying upon what Michael got from the cultists before you pushed him overboard.
Yep.
But you think it was generally east along the coast. You go along for a while, and you see ahead of you, as you round a mesa, you see the thing that Michael saw in the cultist's memory, which is the Tower of the Wizard.
Oh, well, that suggests we're on the right track anyway.
That's what started me crying.
There it is. So what are you going to do?
I'm like, why can't I put my time sheet in? You said I had to have it in by noon. I can't put it in. Because then my phone wasn't working, and so I.
I guess we head for it. I
Yeah.
not much else to do, but
So I called the guy.
Let me scout. I'll go forward and scout invisibly,
I have the wrong extension in the.
basically straight into the
Said not the extension.
deal. See if I find any traps or anything that we need to really watch out for.
I said.
Okay. Isco whoosh, bursts into flame, lifts into the air, and then turns invisible.
Yep.
You sneaky invisible bastard, you.
Yep.
All right then.
They told me you were
You zoom to the tower, and then what?
Move a couple trips around it. Look at the entrances. Looking at defenses. Were there any creatures or devices or emplacements between, on the route in?
You don't see any creatures that are unusual. You also don't see any entrances per se. You see windows. I'll show you again what this thing looks like. Okay. You see windows and you see ledges.
Yeah.
And you see things that clearly are doors, but they are closed. There's no open doors.
Nothing
So,
at the base that looks like it would be a door to go in. Nothing at the base.
So what time are you leaving?
well, again, you see things that clearly are doors, but they're closed.
I'm gonna go stop at the gym.
At the base. Okay.
But you see them at multiple levels. Like
Yep.
on this picture,
Go back here before
the
I-
darkish, kind of drawn, like narrower areas,
Yep.
you see several things that are clearly doors
Right.
that lead to platforms.
Yep.
But the doors themselves are it's all metal, and the door is closed. There is a wall, more or less, of metal in a doorway, blocking you from entering the doorway. And every so often, there's a narrower area with platforms with closed doors, all the way up to the top, where you see there's like a little indented area with doors that are closed.
Linda says happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, cool. Say
Thank
happy.
you.
happy Thanksgiving to her as well.
Any control panels or anything near the doors that look like they might open the doors?
Make a engineering reason roll.
We have engineering. That's helpful.
Is this where our wizard is?
11.
Can I assume this is where our wizard is?
From what we understand, this is where we're supposed to be. Yes. I'm currently scouting.
What'd you get? What'd you get, Scott?
11.
11. You see no openings or panels that you understand at all. I mean, there might be panels, but they're not things you know how to. I mean, you're like, okay, you lay next to a door and you look at. There's clearly a panel next to it. How do you open it? You don't know. You like touch it, and there's like random lights light up, but it doesn't open.
Hey, Captain, is this a machine you can talk to?
Well, yeah, I'm the only one there at the moment.
Isco's all alone.
Okay.
Isco stands alone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I guess I go back. Nothing obviously dangerous.
No, you don't see any guards or harpies flying around or anything weird like that. No.
Obviously, obvious weapons or. Yeah.
Not obvious weapons, no.
Right.
But nothing shoots at you, so
Sure, I'm also invisible.
you're also invisible. Do you want to fly around non-invisible and see if anything shoots at you? I mean, might be worth trying.
How
How brave are you feeling?
No, I don't want to do that.
You're not feeling that brave.
I think I
Let
go.
someone else take that risk. That sounds reasonable.
I fast enough. Not wrong, whatever.
So Isco comes back to the crawler.
I come back and I land like right next to the captain and basically hop back into vision. Hopefully I startle him a little. That would be awesome.
You
So
startle Captain Heroes just a little bit. Oh, hi there.
So, yeah, I see possibly ways in, possibly panels that might control ways in, possible windows in. Not everything's closed. No obvious weapons or creatures or replacements or other. So, yeah, what's the range on your machine speaking thingy ability?
If I can get close enough to talk to him. What? I think it's a. Is it touch or 10 meters? Hold on.
That's a good question. I don't remember myself. Command machines. 10 meters. 30 feet, give or take.
So I see nothing obvious, but I was also invisible. Could you send your minions and you like relay to speak to the machine? We don't have to. I have a bad feeling about this whole place because there's like nothing obvious. There's got to be something bad, not obvious.
Okay. Trying to think of how I'd pull this off. I'm not sure that I can. I think we may just have to walk on up and see what's
Knock?
going on.
We're not. That's one possibility.
Something like that.
Namely, bringing you an apple pie.
Hey, neighbor.
Howdy, neighbor. We heard you were missing out, that you had some problems with cultists. We'd like to talk to you about that.
What do you do?
Well, our goal is to talk this dude into helping us or raid his library.
If he's even there.
Therefore, the direct route. Yes?
Okay.
Okay. We know it's a trap.
It's very clearly a trap.
We're not going to get surprised when somebody throws a trap or an ambush or something like that. The ambush happens, we're going to be like, what took you guys so long?
Right.
You know?
So what do you do?
Being trapped.
We're headed towards the place.
So I go invisible and I distance myself from the crawler. So I'm not, whatever it is, I'm not, yeah, I can actually react.
Okay. So the crawler goes toward the tower. At the deepest, the water is about 2 meters deep. The crawler is capable of dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavy enough it doesn't float, and you guys are high enough above the water you don't get wet. But there's lots of splashing as the treads go through the water and over the rocks toward the tower. Nothing attacks you. Nothing flies out of the tower to attack you. Nothing blasts you from the tower. You get to the base of it,
Okay.
and you're looking up at it. It's not skyscraper big, but it is fairly
Well-
sizable.
I do have danger sense if there's anything that there is possible danger from.
Not at this time.
Okie doke.
Then what?
I guess Isco said that there were like machine locks, doors or locks or something. So I will take a look at the doors and see what kind of machinery they're made from.
Looking at the tower, at this level, there are various what are clearly doors. but they're closed. There's like a, I think Star Trek doors. There's a doorway and there's a wall, and presumably when it opens, it goes or like that, or down. Who knows? There are a number of those around the bottom of the tower, and they're big enough for the crawler to go through, because it's a fairly sizable thing.
Yeah.
And then as you look up, every so often, every say 10 stories, there's another narrower area of the tower that has a bunch of more doors. And there's like another 10 stories up, there's another narrow area, bunch more doors. Until you get to the very, very top of it, where there's a ring that has a bunch of more doors.
Like docking bays?
No, the doors. They're it doesn't, it's not any more complicated than that. They're clearly
The
doors.
door on the side of the building.
Well, when it gets narrow, the door opens to like a platform. Because the tower goes up and then goes in, and then there's a ring of doors. Then it goes out and then up and then in, and there's a ring of doors.
I thought the doors were on the out part. I gotcha now.
Hang on, I'll show you again. Let me find it. Okay. It's not a big deal, but I kind of do want to make it clear.
Yeah.
The places where the tower is narrow, ring of doors all the way around. So if you came out those doors, you'd be standing on a platform of the ring below you.
Right, but it still might not be wise to just rush through any old door because it might end up out in open air.
No, the doors all open onto a platform of some kind. The ring below wherever you happen to be. And the upper... Can you see my pointer?
No.
No? Okay. Well, at the very, very top, you see two red lights, kind of like eyes. And then below that, there's like a dark band.
Yep.
There's a ring there of doors. That is the topmost ring of doors.
Okay.
There you go.
I assume it would be easiest to go in from the bottom.
Well, you haven't looked at any doors other than the bottom, so... And you're currently at the bottom. So I can't say it'd be easier or not. It's where you currently are. Now, that being said, climbing up the tower with the perpendicularizor is actually not a big deal. You could do that if you wanted to. Depends on where you want to go. Do you want to go to the top? You want to go to the bottom?
I can fly up and check out other if there's other doors that easier to get in.
Okay,
If they're all the same.
let's go. Flies up. Are you invisible or normal?
Yeah, invisible.
You fly up. All the doors look pretty much the same. I mean, they vary in size. But other than that, the panel next to them is pretty much the same. Minor differences, but nothing that really draws your attention.
Okay. Okay.
And that's true from the very bottom to the very top.
So I go all the way to the top. Anything different all the way to the top?
No, the doors vary in size.
Yep.
But the basic structure of them look more or less the same.
Okay. Go back down. Nope, they're basically all the same. Different sizes, more or less the same.
So do we want to start at the bottom and fight through all you minions, or do we just want to start him down without the advantage of having stolen all of his minions' goodies?
I think we go straight to the top and surprise them.
Okay. Remember when we mentioned earlier about forgetting to put the mixer in with the liquor? Yeah, straight Kraken rum. Yay. Okay.
At least it's not bacon fat washed.
Whew. Gonna pour some ginger ale in that now. All right, what's your plan, man? It is a little after 10. If you're gonna have some kind of climactic final battle, you're coming up on it. If you take too much longer, it's gonna be postponed to next game.
That's the question.
perpendicularizr and go up.
What do you guys think? Do we jump in now, or do we wait for next week and spend our time taking this guy down?
Let's just go
Well, I would rather wait for
outside. Just
Erling Chang anyway.
Yeah, we would
This
have more
it's okay. In case you're worried whether you're leaving Lloyd out, this is not that kind of encounter. If Lloyd misses this, it's not a big deal. It's really not. This is not.
okay.
This is not a meeting the Hag of Crag Keep encounter. This is a secondary villain. It's not a oops. I kind of gave it away. He's a villain. All right. Yeah, he's a villain. But it's secondary. If Lloyd misses it, it's not a big deal. It really is.
I'm also going to point out that even though I'm not going to work tomorrow, I do have to get up early because I have to get my car to the garage, and then I'm taking a nice 5-hour drive.
It's always something with you, isn't it? All right. Fine. Well, you got like 20 minutes. 20 minutes is tons of time. So what are you going to do?
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we
What are you
take
going to...
the
Oh, hey, Sebastian. Look, there's Sebastian.
Well,
Hello.
up or down? Are we going to go in this front doors, or are we going to go out in the doors upstairs?
Okay, yeah, so the plan is to use the perpendicularizr and head on up to the top doors and then look for a way in.
I've not heard from Dr. Anna in a while. What's your thoughts on this? You're the one with the badass bow of impaling. So what's your deal?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Hey guys, what's going on?
huh?
No, it's all right.
What do you think, Dr. Anna?
I keep.
What do you want, cat? Jesus.
Well, that's. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just following what other people are doing because I don't know yet.
Dr. Anna just kind of watches, observes, and is ready for anything.
Yes, exactly.
There you go. You take
I'm
you
wondering if we
crank up the
blood.
perpendicularizr. You crawl up the side of the tower. You get past the first, then the second, then the third indent where there's like a platform ring kind of place with doors. You get to the very top one, and then park, more or less. And you have more or less the same doors you saw at the bottom. Now what?
And when we open the doors, we'll be going out the bottom.
That would be tricky.
Magic!
Tricky wizard. Techno wizard, more or less.
All right.
Yeah, I start looking at the locks and give them a little whistle.
Make a... Actually, I don't remember what it is. Hang on.
It
I've got to
is
check.
a
Machine control.
either reason or presence machine mental combat.
Oh, here we go. The character must succeed at a moderately difficult DV3 mental combat power roll. However, assuming you succeed at that, there's something else. So succeed at that, and we'll see if you succeed at that.
Mechanical
DV3.
calculation.
I'm rolling 2d6 plus 3. 13! What do you got?
Isn't it 3d6 because I've got the limitation of mechanical objects on my command object, or is
No,
this
this
command?
is machines.
Oh, okay.
So it's just
Not my
flat.
object,
You're
but my
not okay, here's the thing. Command objects versus command machines. Command objects, you can like make them stack up and become golems, basically.
Yeah.
Command machines, you can make them
No,
do what they normally do. So this is like command machines. You want the door to do what it normally does. So
Oh, okay.
it's 2d6 plus your...
Oh, that I didn't do very well then, just an 11.
You need a 13. You command the door to open, and the door says no.
Okay, now I'm going to speak with objects.
Okay.
Why not? that what you do?
Well, technically, yes, but only for authorized individuals.
Oh well, we're authorized. Just look, and I just flashed some random like a credit card out of my wallet or something at him. At it. See,
I don't
fully
recognize your authority to enter me.
Got you beat. Maybe diplomacy on this sucker?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. Either that or manipulation.
Well,
Oh,
try something else.
then there must be some mix-up. We're supposed to be on the list. Didn't you get the memo?
I have not received an update to my operating protocols. Let me check. Make a roll. We'll call it diplomacy. Sure, why not?
A 12
no.
this time.
Wait, diplomacy or manipulation? Which would be better for you?
Exactly the same.
Then pick one.
Let's go with manipulation this time.
All right. What
I
do you
roll
got?
a 12.
I have a 10. So you say that we should be on the list, and it says I have not received an update. I'll check. Okay. I have not received an update to my protocols. What's the most recent date of your permission to enter?
And I real quick check its date code.
Okay, make a command machines roll
Okay.
versus DV3. You need to beat it 8.
Sometimes secure dice takes a while.
It does.
I get a 9.
Oh my god. Alright, you come up with a random nonsense date that makes no sense to you, that is 1 day later than the date it has in mind but has not told you. So you say this random nonsense date, like the year 4275.756. 4. Just why not? And it says, oh, my most recent update was 4775.7442. So clearly your update is more recent. You may enter. Shook!
Thank you.
And the door slides up.
Come on, guys.
Thank you for entering the Tower of Ismason.
And thank you for being so diligent in your duties.
You're quite welcome. You go into some kind of weird high-tech hallway, big enough for the land crawler to drive into. Well, that's weird. What do other people see when you're doing this, Donald? Because you're just basically talking to a door panel this whole time.
Yeah. I'm chatting up the door jam.
Alrighty then.
We're all okay with it because when he does, stuff happens, like the door opens.
It can't be any worse than me silently talking to spirits.
Yeah, but Michael does.
Yeah.
You know, so you can see Michael's doing something, whereas Captain Harris is like,
No, cat.
all right. You go down the hallway and then go down like a slight incline, and you enter in a very large room.
I was figuring they all heard Captain Harrow's side of the conversation.
Oh, well, that makes perfect sense.
Oh, ooh, this is cool.
Yeah, so they hear what he's saying, they just don't hear the responses. So, you go down and you're in an enormous room that looks like part like Congress, because there's lots and lots of seats. But each of these statues is a big-ass statue of Anubis. Do you need me to show you Anubis again? Oh, here you go. I'll show you Anubis again.
I
Dude,
want
dude.
one.
Oh.
See, now this is the kind of thing
There you
that
go.
you should just leave laying around.
That's what the Anubis statues look like. They're about twice as tall as a person, so let's say 4 meters tall. And they each have a staff that they're holding. You're not sure what the deal with the staff is. It looks like horns or something, but there are a bunch of those.
I'm sure it has to do with Horus.
Well, that would make sense if... Oh, Dr. Anna knows that, definitely. But other people, maybe not so much. Sorry, there you go. So that's pretty much your view.
Very
On
cool.
the upper right-hand side of this, you see kind of a ramp leading down. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, you are on a matching ramp on the opposite side, also leading down toward this big kind of open area with 1, 2, 3,
Okay,
4,
so it's
5,
only
6,
6
7,
instead of-
7 big-ass statues of Anubis.
Wait, but if because the ramp comes down to position 8, if there's another ramp coming down to the other side, it's only 6?
You could come down between them. But yeah, you're right.
Wait, what?
Okay. There are 8 plinths in this ring. 7 of them hold statues. The 8th one holds the ramp of stairs. Yeah.
Well, that's separate from the ramp. That's a different thing. You're not
Oh.
from where you're standing. You're not sure what that is. It appears to go off to the edge of the circle, and then there's like a tower sort of dealie that goes up. That's not part of this picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it
So-
looks like it's like it. That's what I thought you were talking about with the ramp going down.
No, that's separate. So you go down, and there's 7 of these big Anubis statues. Just standing
Okay.
there. You don't see any actual people.
I speak with objects and check out what kind of statues they are.
Oh. Okay, well, that's not something...
I mean, if these are the Techno Mage's idea of minions, I want control over them.
I probably should have predicted that, but I didn't. All right, so let me hang on. Speak with objects. Where is it? Super space. Speak with objects. Okay, diplomacy, presence plus power level. Oh fuck. The plus power level powers are pretty much gimmies. All right, so I don't bother rolling. I'm probably going to change this later and pull the.
Yeah,
Pull
yeah. Okay.
I'm going to pull the presence off of this. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. So,
Okay, so it's just
diplomacy.
plus
Okay, here we go. Diplomacy, power level, roll.
power. Okay. And it's a mechanical object.
Well, that's not relevant for this particular thing, but yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is, because that's an extra die for me. Which brings me up to a 15.
Oh, you can only talk to mechanical objects. So I need to decide
And my
whether these
mechanical
things.
object is
Oh,
is
all right
just-
then. Then it doesn't matter. So you go try to talk to one of the Anubis statues. It is
Uh-huh.
not a mechanical object.
Okay, it is just a statue.
It is just a statue.
Okay.
These are not the
I
words
didn't
you
know that in marching. That's very interesting. I got to figure out how he did that.
These may not be the ones he was originally working with.
Or he may just be able to animate them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
In that case, maybe we should destroy them now.
That's
I'm
just
done.
rude.
Well,
How
why
about we
don't
wait
we wait and find out if we can talk to the fellow?
Yeah.
especially if we want his help.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry I blew up all your statues. Can you help us?
You're right. You're right. We should be more like. Now you want to help us because otherwise we blow the ankles out of all your statues.
So there you are. You're looking at these guys.
Real diplomacy going on here.
Like I say, Captain Harrows has diplomacy and manipulation because he really doesn't quite understand the difference between the two sometimes.
Behind that.
You're in a great big room. There are 7 of these. There are lots of seats, like an auditorium, that are empty. There is, the thing that
Now,
Donald pointed out.
The pit in the bottom, is that like a killing zone, a killing floor kind of pit?
What?
An arena.
Hang on, now I have to find the other thing.
You know, if there's like a bunch of blood stains and broken weapons and spikes coming out of the
Here we go.
floor, that's important to know.
This thing. That's what you're talking about? The pit at the bottom?
Yeah.
No, it's a table with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chairs.
Oh, okay.
And the area around it is actually a carpet that is a stylized depiction of large gears. Very kind of steampunk looking.
Okay, cool.
But you don't see any people. Okay, on the left-hand side, this thing that would be 8th statue, if there had been an 8th statue, is stairs going to what appears to be an elevator going up.
Okay, and we were already pretty much at the top.
You're very close to the top, but you're not at the top.
So we should probably take the elevator.
I'm
up
to
with
you,
that.
man.
And we get Erlang to guard the vehicle.
Yeah,
Erling stands and guards the vehicle.
I say we all climb into the elevator and I ask it very nicely to take us quietly up.
Going up, says the elevator, and zoop, you scoot up. Not that hard. Then the elevator opens and you're in this room.
Wow.
It's
Ooh.
big and it's round and it looks thematically, architecturally, very similar to the room below. Also kind of run down.
Mhm.
And the very, 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 very tippy top of it is open to the sky.
I'm wondering if the guy's already been beat.
That's an excellent question. However, you see this fellow standing there looking at you as you come in.
Well, we find out if he's been beat. Ha! Okay. Maybe that's him without his armor.
Yeah.
He's just looking at you as you come out of the elevator.
Oh, what was guy's name? Not Morlock.
Morgat?
Morgat. Oh, hello there. You wouldn't happen to be Morgat, would you?
Okay, just so we're clear, Morgat was the leader of the Raiders.
Oh, okay. I thought that was their name of the wizard. Their name for the wizard. Never mind.
Maybe
So
we
you
didn't
don't,
have a
you
name
don't say
for him.
that. All right.
When we came in, wasn't it announced what we were welcome to the Tower of something?
Yeah.
Yes!
And not recall.
my God.
Something.
Get a plot point for
Hey.
Isco for remembering that. I don't remember the name
Costar.
either, but let's say
Costar.
Salazar.
Okay.
The Tower of Salazar. I'm going to write that down so I can remember it next time.
Will you ask him if he's Salazar?
Ah, there you are. Salazar, I presume?
I am Salazar, yes. And
Oh.
you are?
A pleasure to meet you. I am Captain John Harris.
It is not a pleasure.
Oh, well, we haven't properly met yet, but I was wondering if you could help us out.
No.
Oh, well, that's not very friendly.
I didn't think you would be, but hey. Really types ever seem to be.
Yes, I know why you are here. I'm not going to help you.
Not going to. So you can, and you choose not to, or you're unable.
Take your pick.
No. It's a very clear distinction. It's you see, some of my friends have a terrible tendency of eliminating people before they've become fully useful, and I really don't want that to happen to you.
It won't.
Well, no, that's the thing. If you're not going to be useful at that,
Brandon, while he's talking, I can make an attempt to get into this guy's mind?
Sure, make a mental combat power level roll versus this dude. And I'll roll some dices.
Count more powerful than me.
I have
or
to
not?
scroll by like 1,000 tabs, but we will do that thing just for you.
So we are at a total of, looks like 14.
2d6 plus power level is what you need.
What is it? Plus 2 dice? Yeah.
Yes.
I look like I'm at a total of 14.
That's...
I get to reroll dice.
Oh my god, you hit him exactly, and that is scary. What are you looking for?
I'm looking to see what he really knows. Can he undo it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But you hit him exactly, so like he knows you're peeking around in his head.
Okay.
So that's rude. Meanwhile, okay, let's go, Dr. Anna. Are you guys doing anything? Because otherwise, Captain Harrow's and this guy are just talking, and Michael is poking at his brain.
Still invisibly, I'm walking around behind him very slowly.
Oh, you sneaky bastard. All right, Dr. Anna, what are you doing? Anything?
Oh, I'm standing at ready.
All right. So, Captain Harrow's, he's looking at you and he says, like, you ask him questions and he basically says things like, no.
Ask him why.
Well, why do you want? Why won't you help us?
Why? I know why you are here. I know who sent you here. I don't care about you. I don't care about her. I don't care about the vermin who stole my research. And I don't care about the humans that they used as experimental subjects. I don't care about any of you.
Oh,
so you can leave.
Then you've met the hag. I
Irrelevant.
assume that's who you were referring to when you... I assume you didn't mean Amelia Earhart when you referred to her.
Who? The witch. I'm referring to the witch. The witch who sent you here.
No.
No, more specifically, the witch who sent you to steal my research that had already been stolen by the vermin.
Right, and you're welcome. You can call us the exterminators.
I will call you intruders because that is what you are.
So if that thick purple goop that you were using in your research, throw a jar of that stuff in your face, that wouldn't be very pleasant for you, would it?
You are trying to provoke me.
No. I'm trying to give you options. And this is one of your options.
While he's talking, is anything coming to his conscious mind?
He knows the purple goop you're talking about. it takes him like 3 or 4 steps of mental, like, wait, what? Oh, you mean that? Because what he intended that for was completely unlike what the Raiders use it for.
Oh, okay.
But he does know what you're talking about. It takes him like a few mental steps to realize that.
I would say, it would be very bad if someone were to throw a jar of that in your face, spill it over your head, something like that. These are things that could possibly happen to you.
I've allowed you to come in and converse with me so that I can convey to you the truth of your situation. You are being used.
Well, yes, of course. But that
I
doesn't
knew
mean
that.
you're using the person who thinks they're
I
using
just want to help the
You play
people.
checkers or chess, by the way.
You've misunderstood what I'm saying. You think that you know what you are doing and why, and you don't. You have no conception. Everything you have done has been at the will of another who is using you. Everything you think you know is false. You think she wants to use the devices to open a portal to her world. It is false. She has no intention of doing so.
We knew that.
You are here simply to take something. You use chess as an analogy. Fine. You are here to take the queen off of the chessboard. That is why you are here. I will not help you, and I care nothing about the humans that you are here to help. So you may leave or not. It's up to you. If you stay, I will destroy you.
So then you're, what, a pawn? Rook at best?
Again, you try to
I mean,
provoke me.
if we hold
I
the queen,
resist rising to the provocation.
if I hold the queen,
No.
how far are we from
You are the pawn. Can you possibly be this dense? You are the pawn. The queen has sent all of you here to retrieve what I don't even have. The vermin stole it from me along with my research. I don't have it. I don't even know. I know why you're here. You are here because you want me to help the humans who have been the product of my corrupted research. And I'm telling you, I will not help them.
Then you don't get your research back. Fair enough.
I've moved forward from that time.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
Michael, make a mental combat power level roll. Because this is something that would be at the very tippy top of his brain at this moment.
It looks like 15 that time.
Oh, well, you only needed an 11. So what you get is that he absolutely knows how to reverse the raisinification of the passengers. He totally knows that.
And does he honestly believe that we are here for the hag, or does he think we're just unknowingly here?
100% believes his hag sent you here, and that you don't appreciate the complexity of why. Like, you think you're here, okay, you know you're here because the hag sent you here. But what you are wrong about, according to his opinion, you are wrong about why.
Do I see any avenue for convincing him we're only here to help the humans?
Oh, maybe you are, maybe you're not, but he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. Okay.
He has no desire to help the humans
But I
at
am
all.
not getting any idea. I'm not getting the actual formula for how to help them out
No.
of him.
Not with that role, no.
But
Although he does know it, and he knows it, he knows it, and he's withholding it out of spite.
So you're not interested in getting your research back from the vermin.
It's my research. They took it from me. I already have it. Go.
But you don't
Go.
have the Pashupatastra.
What?
You don't want the gem that they stole. That's what you're telling.
No, we can't.
Wait.
do that.
Wait. Let me think, because he might actually. Captain Harrows, make a diplomacy roll with your presence. And I will make I'm not sure what roll, but I'll roll something. I'll call it 3, a DV3, above what I actually roll. So you need 12.
Only a 10.
He thinks about it, and he goes like, if you had it, you had have no intention of giving it to me, and I won't bow to your manipulation.
Suit yourself. Been nice knowing you. I look forward to your obituary. I mean, I don't know what to say. This is usually when people die.
Actually, I'm going to use, if he's doing that, I'm going to use a plot point because I'm only interested in trying to help those people myself. And I'm going to force him to think about how to do it.
Okay, so I guess you add a bonus die to your whatever roll.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I roll against you.
Let me find my third die.
Ooh, I roll pretty well.
Well, I get to re-roll a dice because I'm combating.
So yours is your power level. His is his presence.
Well, I maxed out almost.
Holy
So
cow.
that's 22.
Wait, how'd you get 22?
You said I add a die.
So
That's
3d6 plus your power level.
And you said I add a dice, right?
So it's three dice plus your power level.
Which is 6, 6, 5, 5.
Holy fuck!
I almost maxed out.
That is astonishing.
I don't do that often. I'm lucky if I get 4s and 5s.
He's now her mental slave.
He's aware of what you're doing. So it's like he's talking to Captain Harrows, and then it looks at Michael, and he's like, no! And you, in your brain, you don't actually understand most of what you're getting, but you get the formula for how to reverse it.
That's all I want. I'll find somebody who does understand.
Yeah, you can always just
left to right. Isco, what are you doing? You're invisible, right?
Yeah, I'm basically a few paces behind him. I'm just waiting to see what happens.
Well, there's like a whole going on, but you're not sure exactly what that's about.
Yeah.
Trying to suppress the shock. Must be bad for him, whatever it is.
Yeah, I figure when I said this is usually when people just die in front of me, I figured that's when it would just zonk.
So Captain Harrows just kind of like waits while this happens.
Yeah. I warned him.
Well, I'm all getting with the information. I'm not ready to hurt him yet.
I warned him.
Basically, after I've got the information, I'll say some of us just want to help other people.
So, Dr. Anna, you doing anything?
Well, what can I do? But I'm not gonna beat him up. Especially if she gets the information.
Asshole.
Beating him up's not gonna give me information.
Well,
Hey, Michael, you don't really understand what you have.
but I'm gonna. But I
But you
have to
have in your mind a formula that should, as far as you know, reverse the effects of the
somebody
raisinification
else
life
told
dream
me
thing.
how to do it, and I have total recall.
Holy fuck, you do?
Yes, I do.
Right then. Well then, I guess that takes care of that.
Yep.
It's all you have to do now is go find the person who you think can give it and just push it into their brain. They
All right then. Salazar says, "No, no, you do not get this. You do not." And he's going to attack Michael, actually, since that
Okay, so
seems to
basically
be
I've been
the-
holding an action behind him the whole time. So it looks like he's trying to move to attack. I will attack him from behind. I will
You
Like-
mean person, you.
absolutely. That's what I'm waiting for.
That's what I was waiting for. Yeah.
This is what Captain Harris was trying to tell the man.
This is the point where people usually die. Hang on. One more time. This is what the guy looks like. All right, there you go. That's him.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't look like all weirdly techno or anything. But he's like, "No, you do not get this," pointing at Michael. Isco's been like hanging behind him, like ready with the scimitar, like this whole time. So, Isco, what you gonna do?
If he makes a threatening move or start to attack, then I will slice him down. I'm just waiting for that.
Yep. I was also holding face exactly for this reason.
Well, we'll do Isco, and then we'll do Dr. Anna. So roll whatever it is you're rolling, and he'll roll against you.
And I'm going to add a plot point because it's getting late.
It is very, very late.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I rolled so very, very bad against Isco.
Oh,
I have the power, right? Because
Poor little sorcerer.
What do you got, Isco?
20.
Good lord. I rolled a 14, which is terrible for this guy, because he's a badass. So he's about to call down the fury of the heavens on Michael, and then behind him you see a burning scimitar appears in the air, and then glitch, and he's like, "Yeah!" like that.
My friend is right. People die. It's going to.
Dr. Anna, roll some dice.
Alright, I am going to shoot him. Moving in front of Michael and then shoot him.
blast.
And that's and it's a blast, so 6. 15.
Wow. Okay, he rolled really, really well. So he like, cries out in pain from the burning scimitar that like practically cut him in half from behind, and he like, and his eyes are burning orange coals of fiery whatever, and you shoot an arrow and it's gonna like just blow straight through his skull, and he's like, and then a big complicated pattern of runes and lines and shit appears in the air, and the arrow hits and goes and shatters. So that's his deal on that turn.
Disco, but hey.
Captain Harrow's doing anything?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and Megatron him.
Yeah.
All right, roll some dice.
Hopefully that'll finish. Oh, wow.
What's a
Okay.
while?
Almost 11 o'clock.
We're gonna wrap up any moment now.
Oh, no, I'm not going to worry about it because, like I said, I don't have to get up till 6.
It's like
I'll
2 hours, maybe 3 before I get up.
I'll go ahead
Oh,
and spend the plot point as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have
Ooh,
to?
I rolled fairly well. A 4, a 5, and a 6. With my attribute, that's 18.
God damn it.
Adding my power level, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, a little robot stands on your shoulder and turns into Megatron and and he blocks the arrow and then he's like does the same thing against the Megatron blast and it just like shatters and blows him backward.
I was thinking about the scene where the guy like points the gun down at the hero and is about to finish him off. And the next thing you know is you just hear the gunshot and you see the hero's best friend with his gun pointed at where the other dude's head used to be.
Yeah.
You know that old tropish scene?
You don't take him down, but you do blow him backwards. It shatters his magical shield thing. Michael's doing the whole brain thing, so Michael's occupied.
Mhm.
So he's this guy, Salazar, says, "You, you think you've won. You think you've won, but you haven't. You're tools, and you've lost, and you will never go home." And then he does something, and then he kind of like digitizes and turns into pixels, and then goes and disappears.
Ooh, that's a nice trick.
Other than wanting to go home, I'm not going to be horribly hurt if I don't.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'll help the people.
That digital teleportation was a really nice trick.
Ooh, I'd say
I
cool.
wonder if it's in the wiring of this place.
Let's go see if we can find somebody who can figure out this formula and fix those people.
Do we want to blow this place up
I
before
was
we?
gonna say, yeah, that would be great. I mean, them off too.
Why not? I got what I want.
Blow up his base, absolutely.
Yeah, if we ring the base like 3/4 of the way around with explosives, it ought to just take care of the rest of it for us.
And he abandoned it, so we have right of salvage. So sure.
I mean, it's going to be really annoyed at us now, but he kind of already is. I really can't imagine being any more annoyed at us than he is currently.
You are really annoying.
And we may kill him in dropping his tower.
Maybe.
So you knock over his tower? Seriously?
Yeah.
You
Also,
can.
yeah.
I mean, you just
I'm feeling
Yeah.
ornery. You could have just simply helped us, and we would have been on our way.
Yeah,
Okay.
all he had to do was tell us how to reverse the problem.
Yeah, that's all.
Been on our way.
Yeah,
But no, he had to make threats.
he had to be an asshole.
Yeah.
he was an asshole. It's true. All right, you blow out some of the supporting structures of the tower, and eventually,
That was very satisfying.
and it falls over. So yay for you.
Okay. I've got it all up here. I don't know.
You
what
do.
it
You
means,
got
so
it.
we gotta go find somebody who knows what it means.
All right then. Oh, one thing you do know, it requires the Pashupatastra. If you don't have that, it won't work.
So
So what the deal is that you have a formula. If you make that and then pour that into the existing vat of Pepto-Bismol pink glowing goo, that will create a reversal of the life draining thing.
now it won't take the life from anybody else, will it? It'll just
No, it just restores life to whoever it got
Okay.
taken from.
Okay.
All right.
I guess we need to pick up the Vada goo.
probably need to go collect some more of that goo though, because if we're gonna build up enough, or is the amount we have enough? Do we know of the purple goo?
I think we only took a small
For
sample.
2,000
of it.
people, yeah, but it's like exactly enough.
Okay, good. Now we just
Like
have to
it'll
find,
consume all of that.
the rest of it. We just have to formalize the rest of it.
Yeah.
I know chemistry, but this is not chemistry I know.
If we want to go back, we can go back and collect some more just to throw in Salazar's face.
Like I said, we have to find somebody who can make the new formula. I know chemistry, but this isn't any chemistry I know.
That's true. It's like weird super science chemistry.
Maybe you might be able to know a little about it, even though you're not a chemist. Because you got the weird science part.
I'm afraid we might have to ask either Orson or Seymour.
Which means we have to tell him we have the Pashupatastra.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. All he needs to the chemical that we wish to have.
And we don't need to tell him why.
Right.
Let's
But
see.
we have to give him some reason to give it to us.
Well, let's explore another option before we go to Seymour. I'd rather not go anywhere near the hag if we don't have to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just throwing that out.
We could try one of those other advanced civilizations and see if they have that kind of chemistry.
Possibly. Was there some kind of pharmaceutical replicator in the hospital that had the Eye of Odin?
Probably.
We can try there first. We'll pass it on the way home.
We might be able to just feed that formula right on in, and
Might as well try. Can't hurt. We're going to buy it on our way home.
Okay.
sounds really good.
All right. We're going to close to it here. You have driven off Salazar, the wizard who actually created the purple, not pink,
Whatever it is.
abysmal goop against his will. And I'm sure that has not made you a friend of his.
No, but he was an asshole.
Well, yeah, he was. There's no doubt in that. So,
I gave him every opportunity to do the right thing.
well, at least a couple of opportunities. I mean, I don't know about every, but a few.
Yeah. And I did warn him what was going to happen.
You totally did. Now, he didn't die. He was injured and left.
Yeah. And then we ruined his house.
And you knocked his tower over. Yeah, that's just rude.
I warned him.
He was very rude. We asked
is true.
nicely.
You invaded Well, I'm not going to get into this.
We asked nicely. He was the one who was a jerk.
I'm not. You invaded his tower and made demands. And he told you he would not help you and you should just leave. And then you assault him and knock over his house.
Well, yeah.
Who's the bad guy here? I think it's the person who broke
He was an
in.
asshole.
Yeah, that's the thing is I warned him what was going. I gave him several options. I gave him several opportunities. I warned him what was going to happen, and he decided to go down that route. He decided he knew better.
He decided to confront the people who broke into his home. All right, moving on. Isco and Dr. Anna. Isco, any final thoughts before you wrap up?
People who get their house broken into are rather irritable, aren't they?
They really are.
There is a part we broke into his house, however.
Yes.
Break into his house.
Yeah, that's just too bad.
The front
He wasn't
door.
gonna let us in anyway.
Actually, we did knock at the front door.
Yeah.
All right,
Next
then.
time, let's try knocking.
This has been Pirates of the Mesozoic with Craig Smith, Donald Von Griffin, Karen Torres, Leslie Denneberger, me, Jim Brennan Blackmore. I mean, you know, you break into somebody's house. What are you gonna expect, man? They're not gonna just give you their stuff. They're just not. They're just not. All right. See you next week.
I'm a Viking,
Yes.
I'm allowed.
You tried knocking
Good
the
night,
person
everybody.
out. Yeah, well, that worked out.